All right. And I think we are live, baby. Yep, I just got a notification on my phone. That means we're live. The internet can now see me. Oh, what a horrible choice I've just made. But welcome in, if anybody's here. Just a random human, let's go! I see you in the chat again. We're about to start. Give me a second to make sure this thingy is up on YouTube the way I want it to be. And then we're about to get started with the end of the Sea of Monsters. I told you guys I'd be back the day after. I told you I was gonna blast through this shit because this book is insane. This book went so... Bro, that fight with Percy and Tyson against Polyphemus, bro. That fight with that was so crazy. That was so hype for me. These chapters are getting progressively shorter because I think Rick, for whatever reason, I don't know why, but I think like the last, after I finished the chapters that I read on stream, like the other chapters were like 10, 15 pages each, and I think Rick was just like, oh fuck, gotta end this shit soon. Just like that chapter was like 6 pages, the other one's like 10. It's like, okay, but it was good, so I'm not even complaining. Hold on, just give me 1 second. Yeah, I know this is peak YouTube stream content. I know this is probably some of the greatest stream you've ever seen in your entire life. Crap. Can I please post this short so people know that I'm streaming? Cool, thank you. I've done it. I'm the greatest YouTuber ever. All right. So before we get in, let's just have a little quick recap rather than Percy versus Polyphemus is dope, because Percy versus Polyphemus is dope. That's like, I love a good tag team. That's honestly what I was thinking what would happen last book when and even the show when Ares was about to fight Ares. I was like, there's no way he's about to beat this guy. I was like, he's gotta. The only way I can see him winning is if Poseidon jumps down and they Jujutsu Kaisen tag team. That didn't end up happening. Some other stuff ended up happening, but you know, it's fine. Oh shit, I forgot that little photo that I do that I put up on places. Okay, here we go. Oh god, too many words. Okay. I want to give more pre-chapter thoughts. I really do. I really do. But my bookmarks in my book. But I don't really. There's not really a lot that happened, to be honest. Like, ooh, Clarice showed up. Clarice was fucking stupid too. Ooh, that pissed me off. When Clarice pulled up and she was sitting there, and when she was like, "Who is this? You think this is a satyr? You think this is a cyclops? That's clearly Grover. That's clearly a satyr. Are you stupid? Do you want to die? No wonder your quest, like Oracle told you weren't gonna succeed without your friend. You are clearly fucking yourself at every turn. What are you doing? Stop doing that." And like, what else does she do? Nobody gets the fleece. That was funny. We meet the Sheep of Doom. The Sheep of Doom. That was solid. Yeah, nobody gets the fleece. That was funny. I go down with the ship. That was hard. That was a hard one. We get a surprise in the minute. Yeah, there was a Tango double chapter, the tag team chapter, my favorite chapter of the ones I just read after stream. Tyson and Percy versus Polyphemus. That one was hard. And we get a surprise on Miami Beach where Luke was just like, "What's up? Give me my stuff." And then Percy, oh, at the end, Percy had that hard moment where he threw the drachma into the rainbow, and he called camp, and he was like, "So Luke, tell me your plan again." Tell me your plan. And Luke was just like, "So why are you telling me? You don't even know." Well, they don't. And he's like, that was great. That was so cool. Yeah, you asked last stream why don't they wear the fleece all the time? Well, yeah, it's like 100 pounds. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. We did see that it was like heavy as shit. But maybe Clarice can. And also, it doesn't seem to like have long-lasting effects. Like once you take it off, like its effects seem to wear off. I don't know if it works the same on people, or maybe it's because the island wasn't like in danger, right? It was just making it more beautiful than it was because it's just its magic energy, but it does heal shit. Like it gave me the impression that it would heal something only while it was on it, and if it took it off, then it wasn't gonna do that. That gave me the impression of that. But maybe it's just because like the island was like whatever, like it was like cool. But also, welcome back, Anthony Belding, both of you. Welcome back. It's nice to have you again here. I don't think I have any more pre-read thoughts, to be honest. There's not too much lore shit that happened in between the time that I left you guys and the time that I've been back. We got like the last 3 chapters of this thing to go. Dash Point! What? I don't think I've seen you before. Welcome in. If it's your first time, it's nice to have you. Honestly, I think the Sea of Monsters is maybe the weakest of the series. So seeing as how it's still good, that says something about the other books. That's what I keep hearing. But I really like it. I think I might like it more than The Lightning Thief. I don't know. Maybe I'm just weird. Maybe it's just because I have a big thing about rescue arcs. I love when characters have to rescue other characters. I think that's really cool. So I don't know. I'm liking this one a lot. I think I like it more than Lightning Thief. Maybe it's because I've seen Lightning Thief 3 different times in the movie, the show, and the book. So it's like it's not as strong in my mind as this one is. Because it's newer. It seems like the fleece only heals people through direct contact, while it heals all nature around it. I see. Alright, let me take a swig of water before I get started, because I'm going to be doing a lot of freaking talking. More than I already do. Okay. Alright. Without any further ado, I said doo-doo. I think we should just get into it. Chapter 18. By the way, someone tell me if my music is too loud. For some reason I feel like it is, but it's at the same volume it was yesterday, so I'm not really too pressed about it. Okay. Chapter 18. The Party Ponies Invade. I should go pick this up. It's gonna make me feel bad if it's on the ground. Okay. Also, Percy trusting Clarice finishing the quest is a cool moment. I agree. It was a cool moment. Even though, to be completely honest, she doesn't deserve it because she's stupid. But it was cool to be like, yeah, if I was in her position, I'd be pretty mad too. And I think she can do this much, so yeah, I'm not mad at that. Alright. The Party Ponies invade. One-on-one, I challenge Luke. One-on-one, I challenge Luke. What are you afraid of? Luke curled his lip. The soldiers who were about to kill us hesitated, waiting for his order. Before he could say anything, Argus, the bear man, burst onto the deck, leading a flying horse. Ooh, was that Luke's steed? It was the first pure black Pegasus I'd ever seen, with wings like a giant raven. The Pegasus mare bucked and whinnied. I could understand her thoughts. She was calling Argus and Luke some names so bad Kyron would have washed her muzzle out with saddle soap. Makes sense that Pegasus don't like old dude. Fuck, I already messed with it. Sir, Argus called, dodging a Pegasus. Your steed is ready. You're not gonna make sure that thing is your homie? That's your homie, bro. That's not gonna betray you. Luke kept his eyes on me. I told you last summer, Percy, he said. You can't bait me into a fight. And you keep avoiding one, I notice. Scared your warriors will see you get whipped? Luke glanced at his men, and he saw I trapped him. If he backed down now, he would look weak. If he fought me, he'd lose valuable time chasing after Clarice. For my part, the best I could hope was to distract him, giving my friends a chance to escape. If anybody could think of a plan to get them out of here, Annabeth could. On the downside, I knew how good Luke was at sword fighting. I'll kill you quickly, he decided, and raised his weapon. Backbiter was a foot longer than my own sword. Dang, a foot longer? Wow. Its blade glinted with an evil gray and gold light, where human steel had melded with celestial bronze. I could almost feel the blade fighting against itself, like two opposing magnets bound together. Oof. I didn't know how the blade had been made, but I sensed a tragedy. Someone had died in the process. Luke whistled to one of his men, who threw him a round leather and bronze shield. He grinned at me wickedly. But how the fuck is Clarice going to get the Golden Fleece past TSA, honestly? Well, it's probably just a jacket, right? It's like, it's the mist and all that. The mist isn't going to get picked up on TSA. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. Trust, we'll be fine. Magic and all that. Luke, Annabeth said. At least give him a shield. Sorry, Annabeth, he said. You bring your own equipment to this party. The shield was a problem. Fighting two-handed with a sword just gives you more power, but fighting one-handed with a shield gives you better defense and versatility. There are more weapons, more options, and more ways to kill, I thought. I thought back to Chiron, who told me to stay at camp no matter what, and learn to fight. Now I was going to pay for not listening to him. Luke lunged and almost killed me on the first try. Damn. His sword went under my arm, slashing through my shirt and grazing my ribs. I jumped back and counterattacked with Riptide, but Luke slammed my blade away with his shield. My Percy, Luke chided. You're out of practice. Ooh, he notices. Ugh. Yeah, it wasn't a good time to go home. It wasn't a good time to go home. You didn't at least practice at home, Percy? He gave me again with a swipe to the head. I parried, returned with a thrust. He sidestepped easily. A cut on my ribs stung. My heart was racing. When Luke lunged again, I jumped backward into the swimming pool and felt a surge of strength. Hold on. Why would you? Yeah. I spun underwater, creating a funnel cloud, and blasted out of the deep end straight at Luke's face. Yeah, I don't know why you would even have a pool on your sheet when your main enemy is Percy Jackson. You know what I mean? The force of the water knocked him down. Spluttering and blinded, but before I could strike, he rolled aside and was on his feet again. I attacked and sliced off the edge of his shield, but that didn't even faze him. Sliced off the edge? Like you cut it off? He dropped to a crouch and jabbed at my legs. Suddenly my thigh was on fire, with a pain so intense I could collapse. My jeans were ripped above the knee, and I was hurt. I didn't know how badly. Luke hacked down, and I rolled behind a deck chair. I tried to stand, but my leg wouldn't take the weight. Percy! Grover bleated. I rolled again as Luke's sword slashed the deck chair in half, metal pipes and all. Funny, at the beginning of the book, Percy mentions that after breaking something, his mom doesn't let him use weapons at home. Yeah, I remember that. I do remember that. I clawed toward the swimming pool, trying hard not to black out. I'll never make it. Luke knew it too. He advanced slowly, smiling. The edge of his sword was tinged with red. One thing I want you to watch before you die. One thing I want you to watch before you die, Percy. He looked at the bear man, Aureus, who was still holding Annabeth and Grover by the necks. You can eat your dinner now. What? 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 I thought Annabeth and Grover were your friends, Luke. What the heck? The bear man lifted my friends and bared his teeth. That's when all Hades broke loose. What? Whoosh! A red feathered arrow spouted from Aureus' mouth. With a surprised look on his bare face, he crumpled onto the deck. Brother! Arceus wailed. He let the Pegasus' reins go and slacked just long enough for the black steed to kick him in the head and fly free over Miami Bay. For a split second, Luke's guards were too stunned to do anything except watch the bear twins' bodies dissolve into smoke. Damn, wait, who was this? Then there was a wild chorus of war cries and hooves thundering against metal. A dozen centaurs charged out of the main stairwell. That's right, Chiron was in Florida too. That's right. Ponies, Tyson cried with delight. Ponies, Tyson cried with delight. My mind had trouble processing everything I saw. Chiron was among the crowd, but his relatives were almost nothing like him. There were centaurs with black Arabian stallion bodies, others with gold palomino coats, others with gold palomino coats, others with orange and white spots like paint horses. Some wore brightly colored t-shirts with day-glow letters that said, Party Pony, South Florida Chapter. Some were armed with bows, some with baseball bats, some with paintball guns. One had his face painted like a Comanche warrior, was having a large orange styrofoam hand making a big number one. Another was bare-chested and painted entirely green. A third had googly eyes with the eyeball bouncing around the slinky coils. One of those baseball caps with soda cans and straw attachments on either side. They exploded onto the deck with such ferocity and color that for a moment even Luke was stunned. I couldn't tell whether they had come to celebrate or attack. Apparently both, as Luke was raising his sword to rally his troops. A centaur shot, a custom-made arrow with leather boxing glove on the end. It smacked Luke in the face and sent him crashing into the swimming pool. If you had just shot him with a regular arrow, with a regular-ass arrow, I guarantee you the rest of the books wouldn't happen. There would only be 2 books like there would be 2 movies. One second. His warriors scattered. I couldn't blame them. Facing the hooves of a rearing stallion is scary enough, but when it's a centaur armed with a bow and whipping it up in a soda drinking hat, even... Oh, there we go. The first annoying ass burp of the stream. What a lovely surprise this is. This never happens. Even the bravest warrior would retreat. Come get some! Yelled one of the party ponies. Yeah, classic Greek warrior. Come get some. They let loose with their paintball guns, and a wave of blue and yellow exploded against Luke's warriors, blinding them and splattering them from head to toe. They tried to run, only to slip and fall. Chiron galloped toward Annabeth and Grover, neatly plucked them off the deck and deposited them off his back. I tried to get up. My wounded leg still felt like it was on fire. Luke was crawling out of the pool. Attack, you fools! He ordered his troops. Somewhere down the deck, a large alarm bell thrummed. I knew any second we would be swamped by Luke's reinforcements. Already his warriors were getting over their surprise, coming at the centaurs with swords and spears drawn. Tyson slapped half a dozen of them aside. Damn, Tyson. It always amazes me how strong Tyson is. Percy has to get payback for getting his ass kicked. This is true. This is true. Not knocking them over the guardrail into the Miami Bay, but more warriors were coming up the stairs. Withdraw, brethren, Chiron said. You won't get away with this, horseman. Luke shouted. This is like if Draco and Dumbledore had a rivalry. That's what this feels like in this. What is it? Yeah. Luke shouted. He raised his sword, but got smacked in the face with another pussy clip and sat down hard in the deck. A Bellamino centaur hoisted me onto his back. Dude, get your big friend. Tyson, I yelled. Come on. Tyson dropped the 2 warriors. He was about to tie into a knot and jogged after us. He jumped on the centaur's back. Dude, the centaur crowed, almost buckling under Tyson's weight. Do the words low-carb diet mean anything to you? The words low-carb diet mean anything to you? Luke's warriors were organizing themselves into a phalanx. By the time they were ready... By the time they were ready to advance, the centaurs had galloped to the edge of the deck, fearlessly jumping the guardrail as if it were a steeplechase not 10 stories above the ground. I was sure we were going to die. We plummeted toward the docks, but the centaurs hit the asphalt with hardly a jolt and galloped off, whooping and yelling taunts at the Princess Andromeda as we raced into the streets of downtown Miami. Let's go. Mega dubs. Mega dubs. Let's go. They just pulled up, flexed, and left. I have no idea what the Miamians thought as we galloped by. Streets and buildings began to blur as the centaurs picked up speed. It felt as if space were compacting, as if each centaur step took us miles and miles. In no time, we'd left the city behind. We'd raced through marshy fields of high grass and ponds and stunted fields. Finally, we found ourselves in a trailer park at the edge of the lake. The trailers were all horse trailers, tricked out with televisions and mini refrigerators and mosquito netting. We were in a centaur camp. Dude, said a party pony as he unloaded his gear. Did you see that bear guy? He was like, whoa, I have an arrow in my mouth. That centaur with the googly-eyed glasses laughed. That was awesome. Head slam. The two centaurs charged at each other full force and knocked heads, then went staggering off in different directions with crazy grins on their faces. Chiron sighed. He set Annabeth and Grover down on the picnic blanket next to me. I really wish my cousins wouldn't slam their heads together. They don't have the brain cells to spare. Chiron, I said, still stunned by the fact that he was here. You saved us. He gave me a dry smile. Well, now, I couldn't very well let you die, especially since you cleared my name. But how did you know where you were? Annabeth asked. Advanced planning, my dear. I figured you would wash up near Miami if you made it out of the Sea of Monsters alive. Almost everything strange washes up near Miami. Gee, thanks, Grover mumbled. No, Chiron said. I didn't mean... Oh, never mind. I'm glad to see you, my young satyr. The point is, I was able to eavesdrop on Percy's Iris message and trace the signal. Iris and I have been friends for centuries. I asked her to alert me to any important communications in this area. It then took no effort to convince my cousin to ride to your aid. As you see, centaurs can travel quite fast when we wish to. Distance for us is not the same as distance for humans. Interesting. Very interesting. I looked over at the campfire, where three party ponies were teaching Tyson to operate a paintball gun. I hope they knew what they were getting into. So what now? I asked Chiron. We just let Luke sail away? He's got Kronos aboard that ship, or parts of him anyway. Chiron knelt, carefully folding his legs underneath him. He opened the medicine pouch on his belt and started to treat my wounds. I'm afraid, Percy, that today has been something of a draw. We didn't have the strength of numbers to take that ship. Luke was not organized enough to pursue us. Nobody won. Haha. But we got the fleece, Annabeth said. Clarissa is on her way back to camp with it right now. Chiron nodded, though he still looked uneasy. You are all true heroes, and as soon as we get Percy fixed up, we must return to Half-Blood Hill. The centaur shall carry you. You're coming too, I asked. You're coming too? I asked. Oh yes, Percy. I'll be relieved to get home. My brethren here simply do not appreciate Dean Martin's music. Besides, I must have some words with Mr. D. There's the rest of the summer to plan, so much training to do, and I want to see. I'm curious about the fleece. I didn't know exactly what he meant, but it made me worried about what Luke had said. I was going to let you take the fleece once I was done with it. Had he just been lying? I learned with Kronos there was usually a plan within a plan. The Titan Lord wasn't called the Crooked One for nothing. He had ways of getting people to do what he wanted without them ever realizing his true intentions. Over by the campfire, Tyson let loose with his paintball gun. A blue projectile splattered against one of the centaurs, hurling him backward into the lake. The centaur came up grinning, covered in swamp muck and blue paint, and gave Tyson 2 thumbs up. Love to see it. Annabeth, Chiron said. Perhaps you and Grover would go supervise Tyson and my cousin before they, teach each other too many bad habits. Annabeth met his eyes. Some kind of understanding passed between them. Sure, Chiron, Annabeth said. Come on, goat boy. But I don't like paintball. Yes, you do. She hoisted Grover to his hopes and led him off toward the campfire. Chiron finished bandaging my leg. Percy, I had a talk with Annabeth on the way here. A talk about the prophecy. Uh-oh, I thought. It wasn't their fault, I said. I made her tell me. His eyes took it with irritation. I was sure he was going to chew me out, but then his look turned to wariness. I suppose I could not expect to keep it a secret forever. So am I the one in the prophecy? Chiron tucked his bandages into his pouch. I wish I knew, Percy. You're not yet 16. For now we must simply train you as best we can, and leave the future to the fates. The fates. I hadn't thought about those old ladies in some long time, but as soon as Chiron mentioned them, something clicked. That's what it meant, I said. Chiron frowned. That's what meant. Last summer, the omen from the fates when I saw them snip somebody's life string, I thought it meant I was going to die right away. But it's worse than that. It's got something to do with your prophecy. The death they foretold. It's going to happen when I'm 16. Interesting. That's a little bit early. It's a little bit of a premature snip, my girl. Did you just want to be mean? You want to intimidate Percy? What was the deal with that? Chiron's tail whisked nervously in the grass. My boy, you can't be sure of that. We don't even know if the prophecy is about you. But there isn't any other half-blood child of the big three. that we know of. And Kronos is rising. He's going to destroy Mount Olympus. He will try, Chiron agreed, and Western civilization along with it if we don't stop him. But we will stop him. You will not be alone in that fight. Freaking, I love Chiron, bro. Chiron's so great. I knew he was trying to make me feel better, but I remembered what Annabeth had told me. It would come down to one hero, one decision that would save or destroy the West. And I felt sure the fates had been giving me some kind of warning about that. Something terrible was going to happen, either to me or to somebody I was close to. I'm just a kid, Chiron said miserably. What good is one lousy hero against something like Kronos? Chiron managed. What good is one lousy hero? Joshua Lawrence Chamberlain said something like that to me once, just before he single-handedly changed the course of your civil war. He pulled an arrow from his quiver. It turned the razor-sharp tip so it glinted in the firelight. Celestial bronze, Percy, an immortal weapon. What would happen if you shot this at a human? Nothing, I said. It would pass right through. That's right, he said. Humans don't exist on the same level as the immortals. They can't even be hurt by our weapons. But you, Percy, you are part god, part human. You live in both worlds. You can be harmed by both, and you affect both. That's what makes heroes so special. You carry the hopes of humanity into the realm of the eternal. Monsters never die. They are reborn from the chaos and barbarism that is always bumbling underneath civilization. The very stuff that makes Kronos stronger. They must be defeated again and again, kept at bay. Heroes embody that struggle. You fight the battles humanity must win. Every generation in order to stay human. Do you understand? I don't know. Why is... Dude, Chiron's so epic, bro. Chiron is so epic. You must try, Percy. Because whether or not you are the child of prophecy, Kronos thinks you might be. And after today, he will finally despair of turning you to his side. That is the only reason he hasn't killed you yet, you know. As soon as he's sure he can't use you, he will destroy you. Luke's tried to kill you. So I don't know what you mean. I guess he could have killed you harder. But like it wasn't. I guess it was more of a Luke decision than a Kronos decision. You know what I mean? But you talk like you know him. Chiron pursed his lips. I do know him. I stared at him. I sometimes forgot just how old Chiron was. Is that why Mr. D blamed you when the tree was poisoned? Why you said some people don't trust you? Indeed. But Chiron, I mean, come on. Why do you think you'd betray the camp for Kronos? Chiron's eyes were deep down, full of thousands of years of sadness. Percy, remember your training. Remember your study of mythology. What is my connection to the Titan Lord? Remember your study of mythology. Imagine talking to somebody else and be like, bro, you know my legend. You know my legend. Stop playing around. You know my legend. What do you think it is? What do you think is going on? I tried to think, but I'd always got my mythology mixed up. Even now, when it was so real, so important to my own life. I had trouble keeping all the names and facts straight. I shook my head. You, owe Kronos a favor or something. He spared your life. Percy, Chiron said, his voice impossibly soft. The Titan Kronos is my father. What? 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 I'm sorry? He's your pops? But he's Zeus's and Poseidon's and Hades' pops. So does that mean you're Poseidon's brother too? Why aren't you a god? Does that mean you're Percy's uncle? Uncle Chiron? Is that what this is? Well, that's the end of that chapter. Wow, okay. That's the end of that chapter. Ooh. Just goes to show how incompetent the gods are that they think Chiron can be a traitor. Yeah. Yeah, wait. If they think Chiron can be a traitor because Kronos is his dad, but Kronos is also their dad. Mr. D, Kronos is your gramps. You know what I mean? Like, Why would you think that? Do you owe Kronos a favor as well? Like, what's the deal with that? That's really interesting. That's really something. That was a cool chapter. I like to see the introduction of Chiron because we didn't get much of him this time. And Chiron's so cool. He's such an epic character. He brings so much like oomph to the series, and he's like a great little anime sensei. You know what I mean? He's freaking great. I love to see him. I hate that this book is getting wear and tear, but obviously that happens when you read them. Man, that was something. Okay, I'm just gonna jump right into the next one because that was just like, whoa, I want to know more, but I don't think we're gonna know more because I've just read the first 2 words and it doesn't look like that we're getting more of what the fuck that was. Kronos is your father. I really wonder if Chiron and Mr. D are gonna play a part in the final battle. I would imagine they would. Like, I really hope we get to see Mr. D have a cool character moment and like save Percy or something before the series ends. I would love to see that. Obviously, don't tell me if it happens. I want Mr. D to do something cool. Also, it is interesting because Kronos has kids that are gods and monsters. I guess the only reason Chiron isn't a god while being son of Kronos is that he doesn't have some all-powerful ability. Possibly. Maybe. Maybe there's something in the mythology that, like, maybe his mom is different from Poseidon's mom. You know what I mean? Like, not gonna be a thing. But let's get underway. Let's read this chapter 19. We're almost done. 2 chapters left. These are about to be really short too. This book is thin here. The chariot race ends with a bang. We arrived in Long Island just after Clarice, thanks to the Centaur's travel powers. I rode on Chiron's back, but we didn't talk much, especially not about Kronos. I knew it had been difficult for Chiron to tell me. I didn't want to push him with more questions. I mean, I've plenty of embarrassing parents. I've met plenty of embarrassing parents. But Kronos, the evil Titan Lord who wanted to destroy the Western civilization, not the kind of dad you invited you to school for career day. I don't know why he'd be embarrassed about that. Everybody knows. You know what I mean? Also, you're immortal. You've had immortal years to come to terms with the fact that the most evil person in the world is your dad. You know? When we got to camp, the Centaurs were anxious to meet Dionysus. They'd heard he threw some really wild parties, but they were disappointed. The wine god was in no mood to celebrate as the whole camp gathered at the top of Half-Blood Hill. The camp had been through a hard 2 weeks. The arts and crafts cabin had burned to the ground from an attack. There were monster attacks when they were gone. Okay, that makes sense. By a Draco Aeonius, which as near as I could figure was a Latin word for really big lizard that with breath that blows stuff up. Dragon. The big house's rooms were overflowing with wounded. The kids in the Apollo cabin, who were the best healers, had been working overtime performing first aid. Everybody looked weary and battered as we crowded around Thalia's tree. What is this? Yeah, Sea of Monsters is Sea of Monsters is the shortest, and it's by a good amount, especially in comparison to the first and last. Titan's Curse is probably my favorite. That or Battle of Labyrinth. The series improves. Interesting. Okay. Well, I'm about to read Titan's Curse, so I'm quite excited for that. I think it's random because there are beings who have Kronos as a father, and the same mother as Zeus, Poseidon and Hades, but weren't born as gods. Interesting. Or maybe it is random. Maybe it's because he's a horse. Who the fuck knows? Maybe Chiron was the first horse, motherfucker. Who knows? Yeah, I noticed that this one is like significantly. Like, immediately when I picked it up off my shelf, I was like, this is significantly thinner than the rest of them. You know what I mean? Like, And that kind of sucks because I really like rescue arcs, but I'm not mad at the story that was told here. I think it's pretty freaking solid. But I can see, judging by expectations, I guess, why people might consider this one to be the worst of the bunch. Even though it's still good. I still really like this one. Titan's Curse is your favorite, though. That's the first time I've heard someone say that. Usually they say Battle of the Labyrinth or Last Olympian. So I'm excited to see Titan's Curse, you know? The moment Clarice draped the golden fleece over the lowest bow, the moonlight seemed to brighten, turning from gray to liquid silver. A cold breeze rustled in the branches and rippled through the grass, all the way into the valley. Everything came into sharper focus. The glow of the fireflies down in the woods, the smell of strawberry fields, the sound of waves on the beach. Gradually, the needles on the pine tree started turning from brown to green. One second. Okay. Everybody cheered. It was happening slowly, but there could be no doubt. The fleece's magic was seeping into the tree, filling it with new power, and expelling the poison. Karen ordered 24-hour 7 guard duty on the hilltop, at least until he could find an appropriate monster to protect the fleece. He said he'd place an ad in Olympus Weekly right away. I love that stuff. That's so good. In the meantime, Clarice was carried on her cabin's shoulders down to the amphitheater. She was honored with a laurel wreath and a lot of celebrating around the campfire. Nobody gave Annabeth or me a second look. It was as if we'd never left. You'd love to see it. In a way, I guess that was the best thank you anyone could give us, because they admitted because if they admitted we snuck out of camp to do the quest, they'd have to expel us. And really, I didn't want any more attention. It felt good to just be one of the campers for once. Titan's Curse does go pretty hard. I hope so. I know literally nothing about Titan's Curse. That is like, I've heard small little things about every single book except for, I figure, Titan's Curse. There's one thing that I think is going to happen. There's one thing that I think but I don't actually know when it's going to happen, but I would guess it happens in Titan's Curse. But yeah, that's the one I've heard the least about. Later that night, as we were roasting s'mores and listening to the Stoll brothers tell us a ghost story about an evil king who was eaten by demonic breakfast pastries, Clarice shoved from behind me and whispered in my ear, "Just because you were cool this time, Jackson, don't think you're off the hook with Ares. I'm still waiting for the right opportunity to pulverize you." I gave her a grudging smile. "What?" she demanded. "Nothing," I said. "Just good to be home." Oh yeah, I saw people confusing you with that back in the first stream. I don't really remember that. What were they saying? I don't really... Well, did they say some stuff? I don't remember what they said about that, to be honest. The next morning, after the party ponies headed back to Florida, Kyron made a surprising announcement. The chariot races would go ahead as scheduled. We'd all figured they were history now that Tanos was gone, but completing them did feel like the right thing to do, especially now that Kyron was back and the camp was safe. Tyson wasn't too keen on the idea of getting back in the chariot after our first experience, but he was happy to let me team up with Annabeth. I would drive, Annabeth would defend, and Tyson would act as our pit crew while I worked with the horses. Tyson, where is Grover now? Is Grover back at camp? Where'd he go? Tyson picked up Annabeth's chariot and added to a whole bunch of special modifications. We spent the 2 days training. It was referenced that you will gain context to the next book. Oh, that. I don't even remember that. I remember that they were saying that. The damn thing. I don't even... Yeah, I forgot. I thought that was... I have no idea. That was not even what I was thinking of. What was going to happen. But I guess I know now. Now I know one thing. We spent 2 days trading like crazy, and Annabeth and I agreed that if we won the prize of no chores... We spent 2 days training like crazy. Annabeth and I agreed that if we won the prize of no chores for the rest of the month, it would be split between our 2 cabins. Since Athena had more campers, they would get most of the time off, which was fine by me. I didn't care about the prize. I just wanted to win. If that's true, he's Poseidon cabin. The night before the race, I stayed late at the stables. I was walking to our horses, giving them one final brushing, when somebody right behind me said, "Fine animals, horses. Wish I'd thought of them." It's first of all, this is a god. This is a god. It's probably Hermes again, if I had to guess. But I just think that's a funny line. It's like, wish I'd. Ugh, horses, they're so freaking cool. Oh, I wish I had that idea. Like, that's just a funny line. A middle-aged guy in a postal carrier outfit. Yep, Hermes. Was leaning against the stable door. It's my boy Lin-Manuel. He was slim with curly black hair under his white pith helmet, and he had a mailbag slung over his shoulder. Hermes? I stammered. Hello, Percy. Didn't recognize me without my jogging clothes? I wasn't sure whether I was supposed to kneel or buy stamps from him or what. It hadn't occurred to me why he must be here. Oh, listen, Lord Hermes. About Luke. The god arched his eyebrow. We saw him all right, I said, but we weren't able to talk sense into him. Well, we kind of tried to kill each other in a duel to the death. We kind of tried to... Yeah, listen, Hermes, I kind of tried to kill your son a little bit, but, like, he's still alive. He's still alive. Which, if you think about it, is more brutal for Percy because chores that we're just reading about the whole cabin is about, oh, yeah, I was just thinking the same thing. That's kind of a bullshit system if you're like, if you're Poseidon cabin or Dionysus cabin, you know what I mean? Like, that's just whack. This episode 2 only have 2 people. I see. You tried the diplomatic approach. I'm really sorry. I mean, you gave us those awesome gifts and everything, and I know you wanted Luke to come back, but he's turned bad. Really bad. He said he feels like you abandoned him. I waited for Hermes to get angry. I figured he'd turn me into a hamster or something, and I did not want to spend any more time as Rodin. Instead, he just sighed. Do you ever feel your father abandoned you, Percy? Hermes is a really interesting god. He seems very sympathetic. Foreshadowing. Oh, what? Oh, I love foreshadowing that I don't even notice. Even though you said that, I still don't even know what was foreshadowing about that sentence. Don't tell me. Don't tell me. I don't want to know. I wanted to say only a few hundred times a day. I hadn't spoken to Poseidon since last summer. I never even been to his underwater palace. So he has an underwater palace? Oh, we're seeing that. Oh, that's something we're definitely gonna see for the end of the series. Oh, that's definitely happening. And then there was the whole thing with Tyson. Bro, this whole series is foreshadowing. I freaking love me some good foreshadowing, man. Foreshadowing is like one of my favorite narrative devices. Look at him. And then there was a whole thing about Tyson. No warning, no explanation. Just boom, you have a brother. You'd think that deserves a little heads up phone call or something. The more I thought about it, the angrier I got. I realized I did want recognition for the quest I'd completed. But not from the other campers. I wanted my dad to say something to me. To notice me. Hermes readjusted the mailbag on his shoulder. Percy, the hardest part about being a god is that you must often act indirectly. Especially when it comes to your own children. If we were to intervene every time our children had a problem, well, that would only create more problems and more resentment. But I believe if you give it some thought, you will see that Poseidon has been paying attention to you. He has answered your prayers. I can only hope that someday you may realize the same about me. Whether you feel like you succeeded or not, you reminded Luke who he was. You spoke to him. I tried to kill him. Hermes shrugged. Families are messy. Immortal families are eternally messy. Sometimes the best we can do is to remind each other that we're related, for better or worse, and try to keep the maiming and killing to a minimum. Bro. Ooh, I love all the god characters, man. Hermes and Poseidon are my 2 favorites. Hermes, Poseidon, and Hades are my 2 favorites. 3 favorites, I guess, because that's not 2. Oof, that was just... Oof. Because we are a god, we must sometimes act indirectly. I hope Luke may come to realize this. That's really interesting. They can't They can't directly have influence on their kids' lives because they're literally all powerful. So that would, I wonder how that would how that would provide more problems for them, though. I wonder. I'm sure we're gonna get more on that in the future. I don't know. I don't know, Hermes. Maybe one father-son chat with Luke could probably have helped. Yeah, true. This is true. I mean, Ares was talking to Clarice, so clearly some gods do it. Percy Jackson, the Olympians, a series where every conflict comes from daddy issues and messy family affairs. This is true. Just like Star Wars. That's also Star Wars. Yeah, Hermes could have given like one little conversation. You know what I mean? Like it could have, but still, like Poseidon didn't talk to Percy until he pulled up on Olympus, ready to complete a quest. You know what I mean? Like, this is true. This is yeah. Ares is not an example of a good father, but I'm saying he could do it though. Like he could, but. I digress. I digress. Yeah, maybe Hermes is a good father. Maybe he's. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I'm only 2 books in. I'm not even read most of this yet. I don't even know most of what, if anything. You know, I've heard from you guys that the other ones are bangers. Now the next 3 are fire. So we'll see. We'll certainly see. It didn't sound like much of a recipe for the perfect family. Then again, as I thought about my quest, I realized maybe Hermes was right. Poseidon had sent the hippocampi to help us. He'd given me powers over the sea that I'd never known about before. And there was Tyson. Had Poseidon brought us together on purpose? How many times had Tyson saved my life this summer? In the distance, the conch horn sounded, signaling curfew. You should go to bed, Hermes said. I have helped you get into quite enough trouble this summer already. I really only came to make this delivery. A delivery? I'm the messenger of the gods, Percy. He took an electronic signature pad from his mailbag. No way. There's no... I'm a messenger of the gods. Of the gods. I'm a messenger of the gods, Percy. Sign. That's fucking great. I love that. That's fucking funny. Sign here, please. Oh, that's good. I picked up the stylus, realizing it was entwined with a pair of tiny green snakes. I dropped the pad. Ouch, said George. Really, Percy? Martha scolded. Would you want to be dropped on the floor of a horse stable? Oh, sorry. I didn't much like touching snakes, but I picked up the pad and the stylus again. Martha and George jiggled around my fingers, forming a kind of pencil grip like the ones my special ed teacher made me use in 2nd grade. Did you bring me a rat? George asked. No, I said. We didn't find any. What about a guinea pig? George Martha tried it. Don't tease the boy. Oh, they know. They know he was a guinea pig. I signed my name and gave the pad back to Hermes. In exchange, he handed me a sea blue envelope. I agree. Having Percy converse with the gods is always interesting. Hearing their perspectives is eye-opening as to how they think. It is, yeah. I really wonder though, because Hermes can appear to Percy at any time apparently, and he's just chill with doing that. He has no qualms about it apparently, and I wonder if that's because he only is doing that because Percy is not his kid. Like, do other gods appear to other half-bloods? I would probably think not, because none of them are as important as Percy. Like, none of them are, first of all, a child of the big 3. Also, none of them have completed a quest to save Olympus. None of them are intertwined to this main plot. You know what I mean? Does Hermes appear to Clarice because she was on the quest or something like that? You know, so he appears to Percy. Why doesn't he appear to Hermes? Maybe it's because Percy is not their kid that they can intervene with him. Like it's just cousin Hermes. You know what I mean? It's because Percy is him, possibly. My fingers trembled even before I opened it. I could tell it was from my father. I could sense his power in the cool blue paper, as if the envelope itself had been folded out of an ocean wave. Good luck tomorrow, Hermes said. Fine team of horses you have there. Will you excuse me if I root for the Hermes cabin? Dang, I think do the gods really watch Camp Half-Blood like a freaking reality show with their kids? And don't be too discouraged when you read it, dear, Mother told me. He does have your interests at heart. What do you mean? Oh, that's worrying. I don't want to read this letter now. Don't mind her, George said. And next time, remember, snakes work for tips. Enough you two, Hermes said. Goodbye, Percy, for now. Small white wings sprouted from his pith helmet. He began to glow, and I knew enough about the gods to avert my eyes before he revealed his true divine form. Dang asshole, you didn't want to let me know that you were going to reveal your true divine form that could kill me if I looked at you? Like, you... what? Like, listen, I'm about to leave. I just gave you this thing, and you're the most important person I know. But, dip. Like, I might kill you, but, you know. With a brilliant white flash, he was gone. I was alone with the horses. The homies. I stared at the blue envelope in my hand. It was dressed in strong but elegant handwriting that I had seen once before on a packet Poseidon sent me last summer. Percy Jackson. Camp Half-Blood. Farm Road 314, Long Island, New York. An actual letter from my dad. Maybe he would tell me I'd done a good job getting the fleece. He explained about the... yeah, or Hermes could send Luke a letter. Like, I'm sure we're going to get explanation. Like, there's no way we're not going to get explanation for that. I'd done a good job getting the fleece. He'd explain about Tyson or apologize for not talking to me sooner. There were so many things that I wanted that letter to say. I opened the envelope and unfolded the paper. 2 simple words were printed in the middle of the page. Brace yourself. I think I know what he means. I think I know what he means. He watched that man hand the fleece to Clarice, come back to Camp Half-Blood, stand around the tree, put it on it, and then Poseidon was like, "Oh shit." "Oh fuck, this isn't good." And he's like, "Hermes, will you give this to my son real quick?" Yeah, maybe he can't say... oh shit. Maybe he can't say too much. Because, you know, Dad. So maybe I was wrong about the letter thing. The next morning, everybody was buzzing about the chariot races, though they kept glancing nervously toward the sky, like they expected to see Stiphlalian birds gathering. Oh, okay, that's funny. None did. It was a beautiful summer day with blue sky and plenty of sunshine. The camp had started to look the way it should look. The meadows were green and lush. The white columns gleamed on the Greek buildings. Dryads played happily in the woods, and I was miserable. I've been lying awake all night thinking about Poseidon's warning. Brace yourself. I mean, he goes to trouble writing a letter, and he writes 2 words. Yeah, you could have said more, but he knows. It's just more fun to be epic, I'd imagine. Be dramatic. But also, I'm sure Percy will know when he knows. Martha, the snake, had told me not to feel disappointed. Maybe Poseidon had a reason for being so vague. Maybe he didn't know exactly what he was warning me about, but he sensed something big was about to happen. Something that could completely knock me off my feet unless I was prepared. It was hard, but I tried to turn my thoughts to the race. As Annabeth and I drove onto the track, I couldn't help admiring the work Tyson had done on the Athena chariot. A carriage gleamed with bronze reinforcements. The wheels were realigned with magical suspension. So we glided along with hardly a bump. The rigging of the horses was so perfectly balanced that the team turned at the slightest tug of reins. Tyson had also made us 2 javelins. Damn, Tyson. Okay. Son of Poseidon? More like son of Hephaestus. Each with three buttons on the shaft. The first button primed the javelin to explode on impact, releasing the razor wire that would tangle and shred on an opponent's wheel. The second button produced a blunt, but still very painful, bronze spearhead designed to knock knock a driver out of his carriage. The third button brought up a grappling hook that could be used to lock onto the enemy's chariot or push it away. I figured we were in pretty good shape for the race, but Tyson still warned me to be careful. The other chariot teams had plenty of tricks up their togas. Here, he said, just before the race began. He handed me a wristwatch. There wasn't anything special about it, just a white and silver clock face, a black leather strap, but as soon as I saw it, I realized that I was wondering that this was Tyson had been tinkering. This is what I'd seen him tinkering on all summer. All summer, you mean 10 days. Hold on. What is it? But for the real answer, I think Hermes talks Percy more than his own kids because that great prophecy could be about him. I think Hermes wants to convince Percy to try to save Olympus. Interesting. I haven't read the books in a while, so I can't remember if there's any kind of explanation or not. Most of the other gods talk down to Percy to try to use the I'm a god, so listen to me strategy, while Hermes tries the human approach. That's why I think Hermes is so cool. That's why I really like him, because he's just like a chill dude. He's just like a homie. Even in the freaking TV show, he's just like, demigods, welcome. Want to play craps? You know what I mean? Like, he's just chill. Right. I didn't usually like to wear watches. Who cared what time it was? But I couldn't say no to Tyson. Who cared what time it was? This is so that's so facts. Thanks, man. I put it on and found it was surprisingly light and comfortable. I could hardly tell I was wearing it. Didn't finish in time for the trip, Tyson mumbled. Sorry. Oh, I love Tyson. I freaking love Tyson. Hey, man, no big deal. If you need protection in the race, he advised, hit the button. No way. No way. This watch turns into a shield? This watch turns into a shield! Watch my face when this watch turns into a shield. Okay, I didn't see how keeping time was going to help a whole lot, but I was touched that Tyson was concerned. I promised him I'd remember the watch. And hey, I'm Tyson. He looked at me. I wanted to say, well, I tried to figure out how to apologize for getting embarrassed about him before the quest, but telling everyone he wasn't my real brother. It wasn't easy to find the words. I know what you will tell me, Tyson said, looking ashamed. Poseidon did care for me after all. Oh, well, he sent you to help me. Just what I asked for, I blinked. You asked Poseidon for me? No. What? Do not make me cry here on stream, Tyson. Do not make me tear up here on stream, bro. Dude. What? Oh. There's no way, dude. For a friend, Tyson said, twisting his shirt in his hands. The young Cyclopses grew up alone, on the streets, to make things out of scraps, learn to survive. But that's so cruel. He shook his head earnestly. Makes us appreciate blessings, not be greedy. And mean and fat like Polyphemus. But I got scared. Monsters chased me so much, clawed me sometimes. The scars on your back. A tear welled in his eye. Sphinx on 72nd Street, big bully. I prayed to Daddy for help. Soon the people in Merryweather found me. Met you. Biggest blessing ever. Hold on. No, I can't move on from that. 1 second. What did he say? I know what you will tell me, Tyson said, looking. Poseidon did care for me after all. That's what he thought he was gonna say. Also, at the timeline of the story, it began at the beginning of summer break, but it is now the last few weeks, so he has had months to work on it. I thought it had only been 2 weeks. I cried at the last book, and almost did at this point in the series, so you're good. Yeah, I heard people cried at the last book. I did hear that. I heard, like, the last Olympian is pretty epic. Bro, Tyson's such a great character. Right? The movie did not do Tyson justice. Oh, I freaking love Tyson, dude. What, man? I started this book being like, Is Tyson just Grover 2.0? And I'm ending this book being like, I freaking love Tyson. Tyson might be top 2 characters for me, man. It might be just him and Percy at the top for me. Sphinx on... Yeah. Biggest blessing ever. Hold on. That doesn't make any sense. I thought it had only been 2 weeks. Because... I don't know. Maybe you're right. You're probably right. Sorry, I said. Poseidon was mean. 1 second. Big bully, I prayed to Daddy for help. Soon the people at Meriwether found me. Met you, biggest blessing ever. Dang, why does... Do no other Cyclopses pray to him? I think other Cyclops are just mean and shit. Sorry, I said. Sorry, Poseidon was mean. He sent me a brother. I started to watch Tyson made me. Sorry. Oh, sorry I said Poseidon was mean. He sent me a brother. Oh, that's still Tyson talking. When did he say Poseidon was mean? At the beginning of the book? Is that what he said? Yeah, because he thought Percy was about to tell him that Poseidon cared for him. He didn't know that Percy was about to say he didn't think it. Oh, sorry, but he sent me a brother. Nah. Oh, that's. Nah, I got 1 second. I would move on, but I'm gonna read this one more time because Tyson is making me feel things. Tyson is making me feel things. A tear rolled down. Sphinx on 72nd Street. Big bully. I prayed to Daddy for help. Soon the people at Merryweather found me. Met you. Biggest blessing ever. Sorry, I said. Sorry, I said Poseidon was mean. He sent me a brother. The movie protracted. I'm assuming you meant portrayed. The movie portrayed Tyson as an oblivious idiot, but he's supposed to be like a big child full of love and wonder, while not always being the brightest. I see that. I see that. I mean, he still kind of does feel like that in the movie, I'm not gonna lie, but it doesn't have nearly as much emotional depth. They have the same character arc, but like it's a lot shallower. It is a lot shallower. That one thing made Tyson like a lot deeper, and I love it. I stared at the watch that Tyson had made me. Percy! Annabeth called, come on! Karen was at the starting line, ready to blow the conch. Tyson, I said. Go, Tyson said. You will win. Yeah, okay, big guy. We'll win this one for you. I climbed on board the chariot and got into position just as Chiron blew the starting signal. The horses knew what to do. We shot down the track so fast I would have fallen out if my arms hadn't been wrapped in the leather reins. Annabeth held on tight to the rail. The wheels glided beautifully. We took the first turn, a full chariot length ahead of Clarice, who was busy trying to fight off a javelin attack from the Stoll brothers in the Hermes chariot. We've got him, I yelled, but I spoke too soon. Incoming, Annabeth yelled. She threw her first javelin in grappling hook mode, knocked away a lead-weighted net that would have entangled us both. Apollo's chariot had come up on our flank. Before Annabeth could rearm herself, the Apollo warrior threw a javelin into our right wheel. The javelin shattered, but not before snapping some of our spokes. Our chariot lurched and wobbled. I was sure that we would collapse altogether, but we somehow kept going. I urged the horses to keep up the speed. We were now neck and neck with Apollo. Hephaestus was coming up close behind. Ares and Hermes were falling behind. Side by side, riding side by side as Clarice went sword on javelin with Connor Stoll. Maybe I am wrong about the timeline. I think you are, because like it says Chiron continued with the chariot races, right? But this is treated like the second chariot race. And Tantalus said they would be done once a month. So yeah, it's like it just felt like the second one. I feel like they wouldn't be giving it this much of importance if they were done once a month. You know what I mean? If this was like the last one at the end of the summer. Clarice went sword on javelin with Connor Stoll. If we took one more hit to our wheel, I knew we would capsize. "You're mine!" the driver from Apollo yelled. He was a first-year camper. I didn't remember his name, but he sure was confident. You got. This is your first year knowing you're a half-blood. He sure is excited. Imagine showing up to freaking. This is like showing up to Hogwarts year 2, being like, "Hogwarts is closed. The freaking basilisk or whatever, Chamber of Secrets and all that." Or any year showing up to Hogwarts because every year it's threatened with danger and whatever. "Yeah, right," Annabeth yelled. She picked up her second javelin, a real risk considering we still had one full lap to go, and threw it at the Apollo driver. Her aim was perfect. The javelin drew a heavy spear point just as it caught the driver in the chest, knocking him against his teammate and sending them both toppling out of their chariot in a backward somersault. The horses felt the reins go slack and went crazy, riding straight for the crowd. Campers scrambled for cover as the horses leaped the corner of the bleachers, and the golden chariot flipped over. The horses galloped back toward their stable, dragging the upside-down chariot behind them. I held our own chariot together. Through the second turn, despite the groaning of our right wheel, we passed the starting line and thundered into our final lap. The axle creaked and moaned. The wobbling wheel was making us lose speed. Even though the horses were responding to my every command, running a well-oiled machine, the Hephaestus team was still gaining. Beckendorf grinned as he pressed a button on his command console. Steel cable shot out of the front of his mechanical horses. Ooh, Beckendorf has mechanical horses. That's cool. Because he's Hephaestus' son. Wrapping around our back rail, or our chariot shuddered as Beckendorf's winch system started working, pulling us backward while Beckendorf pulled himself forward. Annabeth cursed and drew a knife. She hacked at the cables, but they were too thick. "Can't cut them," she yelled. The Hephaestus chariot was now dangerously close. The horses are about to trample us underfoot. "Switch with me," I told Annabeth. "Take the reins." "But trust me." She pulled herself to the front of the grabbing reins. I turned, trying hard to keep my footing and uncapped riptide. I slashed down and the cable snapped like kite string. We lurched forward, and Beckendorf's driver just swung his chariot to our left and pulled up next to us. Beckendorf drew his sword. She slashed at Annabeth, and I parried the blade away. We were coming up on the last turn. We never make it. I needed to disable the Hephaestus chariot and get it out of the way, but I had to protect Annabeth too. Just because Beckendorf was a nice guy didn't mean he wouldn't send us both to the infirmary if we let our guard down. We were neck and neck. Clarice coming up from behind, making up for lost time. "See ya, Percy!" Beckendorf yelled. "Here's a little parting gift." He threw a leather pouch into our chariot. It stuck to the floor immediately and began billowing green smoke. "Greek fire!" Annabeth yelled. I cursed. I heard stories about what Greek fire could do. I figured we had maybe 10 seconds before it exploded. "Get rid of it!" Annabeth shouted, but I couldn't. Hephaestus' chariot was still alongside, waiting until the last second to make sure their little present blew up. Beckendorf was keeping me busy with his sword. If I let my guard down down long enough to do with Greek fire. Oh God. Can I please stop? Thank you. Annabeth would get sliced and we'd crash anyway. I tried to keep the leather pouch away with my foot, but I couldn't. It was stuck fast. Then I remembered the watch. I didn't know how it could help, but I managed to punch the stop button. Instantly the watch changed and expanded. The metal rim is firing outward like an old-fashioned camera shutter, a leather strap wrapping around my forearm, until I was holding a round war shield 4 feet wide. The inside soft leather, the outside polished bronze engraved with designs I didn't have time to examine. I bet those designs are fire. Oh, I knew Tyson had come through. I raised the shield. Tyson is he's hyped in the crowd right now. He's like, "Yes, my brother frickin' used the thing." I know it. I can't wait to see this scene in the show and see Tyson's face be like. All I knew Tyson had come through. I raised my shield and Beckendorf's sword clanged against it. His blade shattered. "What? What?" he shouted. "How?" He didn't have time to say more because I knocked him in the chest with my new shield and sent him flying out of his chariot, tumbling in the dirt. I was about to use Riptide to slash the driver when Annabeth yelled, "Percy!" The Greek fire was shooting sparks. I shoved the tip of my sword onto the leather pouch and inflicted up like a spatula. The firebomb dislodged and flew into the vessel's chariot at the driver's feet. He yelped. In a split second, the driver made the right choice. He dove out of the chariot, which careened away and exploded in green flames. The metal horses seemed to short-circuit. They turned and dragged the burning wreckage back toward Clarice and Stoll, who had to swerve to avoid it. Annabeth pulled the reins for the last turn. I held on, sure we could capsize, but somehow she brought us through and spurred the horses across the finish line. The crowd roared. Once the chariot stopped, our friends mobbed us. They started chanting our names, but Annabeth yelled over the noise, "Hold up, listen! It wasn't just us." The crowd didn't want to be quiet, but Annabeth made herself heard. "We couldn't have done it without somebody else. We couldn't have won this race, or gotten the fleece, or saved Grover, or anything. We owe our lives to Tyson, Percy's brother," I said loud enough for everybody to hear. "Tyson, my baby brother, let's go! Let's freaking go, dude." Tyson blushed. The crowd cheered. Annabeth planted a kiss on my cheek. Okay, Annabeth, I see you, girl. The roaring got louder, and after that, the entire Athena cabin lifted me and Annabeth and Tyson onto their shoulders and carried us toward the winner's platform, where Kyron was waiting to bestow the laurel wreaths. You gotta love the love. Like, I did not expect Annabeth at this point to kiss Percy on the cheek. I know Percy Beth is a thing, obviously, but like, I did not expect what is it? Yeah, I didn't expect I didn't expect that. I didn't expect it. Alright. Yeah, that was chapter 19. We have one more chapter to go. It's looking a lot. Looking a bit like something. Dang, that was a fun little chapter. To be honest, when I looked through the catalog and I saw the chariot race end with the bang, I thought that like somehow, some way, Luke and Percy would end up in a chariot race. Like, I thought that would be the final battle of this. Like, after Polyphemus and everything, Luke and Percy would end up in a chariot race and then fight each other. And I feel like it would harken back to the chariot race that they lost in the beginning, and the Clarice would be on their side or whatever. And I didn't get it. And honestly, I didn't get enough of Clarice this book. I thought we were gonna get a lot more Clarice, but I guess she was just introduced. I'm sure we'll see more of her later. We got a lot of Tyson, and I like Tyson a lot. But yeah, I wish we had more Clarice, to be honest. And I kind of still wish this chariot race was more like epic, like battle for the world with Luke. But this is still good. It's still a great character moment, which is I still really like it. So it's the final chapter of the Sea of Monsters book, and I will be done with book 2 of Percy Jackson's, and let's get into it. The fleece works its magic too well. That afternoon was one of the happiest I'd ever spent at camp. Maybe it goes to show, you never know when your world is about to be rocked to pieces. I love these lines, man. We got a whole lot less Grover. I know. Where is even Grover right now is my question. Because, like, yeah, he was brought back with them, and I'm sure I think he rode with them to camp, but there was there's not been a single mention of Grover since they got back. So did he just dip off again? I wouldn't be surprised if he did, but at least tell us that, or maybe I missed it. Maybe I missed that Grover fucked off to go search for Pan more. I want more Grover stuff. I like Grover a lot, and I want him to be in the books more. Alright. Okay, never mind. I literally, every time I do this, I should have just read one more sentence. You should have taken one more sentence. Grover has taken the longest nap of his life, yeah. Grover announced that he'd been able to spend the rest of summer with us before resuming his quest for Pan. Yeah, if I had only read the next sentence. His boss at the Council of Cloven Elders was so impressed that he'd gotten himself killed, and that he hadn't gotten himself killed, and had cleared the way for future searchers. He's the first to come back and not be dead. But they granted him a 2-month furlough and a new set of reed pipes. Yeah, this is still the first month of summer. The only bad news, Grover insisted on playing those pipes all afternoon long, and his musical skills hadn't improved much. He played YMCA, and the strawberry plant started going crazy, wrapping around our feet like they were trying to strangle us. I guess I couldn't blame them. Every single time. It's so frustrating. I go on a rant and it's like, just read one more sentence, bro. Just read one more sentence. Grover told me he could dissolve the empathy link between us now that we were face to face, but I told him I just assume keep it but I told him I'd just assume keep it if that was okay with him. That doesn't make any sense as a sentence, but alright. He's just gonna keep it. He put down his reed pipes instead of me. But if I get in trouble again, you'll be in danger, Percy. You could die. If you get in trouble again, I want to know about it. And I'll come help you. Again, G-Man. I wouldn't have it any other way. Ah, love them. Love them. Love them. Love Percy and Grover. They're the best. In the end, he agreed not to break the link. He went back to playing YMCA for the strawberry plants. I didn't need an empathy link with the plants to know how they felt about it. Later on, during archery class, Karen pulled me aside and told me he'd fix my problems with Merriweather Prep. The school no longer blamed me for destroying the gymnasium. The police were no longer looking for me. Oh, I forgot that was a thing. The police are always after this man. How'd you manage that? As Karen's eyes twinkled, I merely suggested that the mortals had seen something different on that day. A furnace explosion that was not your fault. You just said them and they bought it? I manipulated the mist. Someday, when you're ready, I'll show you how it's done. Oh, that's cool. You can manipulate mortal perceptions. That's really sick. You mean I can go back to Merriweather next year? Kyron raised his eyebrows. Oh no, they've still expelled you. Your headmaster, Mr. Bonsai, said you had how did he put it? Ungroovy karma that disrupted the school's educational aura. But you're not in any legal trouble, which was a relief to your mother. Oh, and speaking of your mother, he unclipped his cell phone from his quiver and handed it to me. It's high time you called her. The worst part was the beginning. The Percy Jackson, what were you thinking? Do you have any idea how worried I was sneaking off to camp without permission, going on dangerous quests and scaring me half to death? Yeah. Not only did you leave and not tell your mother, you didn't write to her, but then you went on a quest and sailed across the thing, faced off with Polyphemus and Tribdus, faced off with Luke, came back, did a chariot, and still hadn't contacted your mother. And you were a guinea pig at one point. But finally she paused to catch your breath. Oh, I'm just glad you're safe. That's the great thing about my mom. She's no good at staying angry. She tries, but it just isn't in her nature. I'm sorry, Mom, I told her. I won't scare you again. Don't promise me that, Percy. You know very well it will only get worse. That's facts. She tried to sound casual about it, but I could tell she was pretty shaken up. I wanted to say something to make her feel better, but I knew she was right. Being a half-blood, I would always be doing things that scared her. And as I got older, the dangers would just get greater. I could come home for a while, offered. No, stay at camp, train, do what you need to do, but you will come home for the next school year. Yeah, of course. If there's any school that will take me, I will find something dear on my mother's side, some place where they don't know us yet. As for Tyson, the campers treated him like a hero. Let's go. I would have been happy to have him as my cabin mate forever. But that evening, as we were sitting on a sand dune overlooking Long Island Sound, he made an announcement that completely took me by surprise. I don't like where this is going. I want Tyson to stay. Him and Grover have very similar beats, coming in the same way, and if he's exiting, That's also a very Grover thing. Completely unrelated, but I think it's a bit funny how similar I am to Percy as a massive POJ fan, and that Annabeth is my ideal GF both physically and personality wise. Honestly, bro, I'm not even gonna lie to you. Same. Same. Literally same. Wait, which Annabeth? Book Annabeth or TV show Annabeth? This is important. Or film Annabeth. These are all. This is very important. In terms of physicality, their personalities are slightly different. Not too much, but slightly. Book Annabeth? Okay, I see you. Dream came from Daddy last night. He said he wants me to visit. I wondered if he was kidding, but Tyson really didn't know how to kid. Poseidon sent you a dream message? Tyson nodded. Wants me to go underwater for the rest of the summer. Learn to work at Cyclops Forges. He called it an internship. Yes! I let that sink in. I'll admit I felt a little jealous. Poseidon never invited me underwater. But then I thought Tyson was going. Just like that. When would you leave, I asked. Now? Now? Like, now? Now? That's so Tyson. God, that's so sad, though. I started out the waves. In the long... Yeah, why is he going to the forges? I don't like that. I started out the waves in the Long Island Sound. The sound water was glistening in the rest of it. I'm happy for you, big guy. I managed. Seriously. Hard to leave my new brother, he said with a tremble in his voice. But I want to make things. Weapons for the camp. You will need them. Unfortunately, I knew he was right. The fleas hadn't solved all the camp's problems. Luke was still out there, gathering an army aboard the Princess Andromeda. Kronos was still reforming in his golden coffin. And also, Luke still has spies at the camp that you need to flesh out. Did you want to tell Kyron about that? Eventually, we would have to fight them. Yeah. You'll make the best weapons ever, I told Tyson. I held up my watch proudly. I bet they'll tell good time, too. Dude, it's crazy that... I guess anybody can just make those kinds of weapons, or maybe it's only Poseidon people can only make weapons that turn to other things. I don't know. We haven't gotten much insight into Hephaestus' cabin, so maybe there are a bunch of weapons that look like other weapons, that look like everyday objects that I don't know about, you know? Tyson sniffled. Brothers help each other. You're my brother, I said. No doubt about it. He patted me on the back so hard that he almost knocked me down the sand dune. Then he wiped a tear from his cheek and stood to go. Use the shield well. I will, big guy. Save your life. Save your life someday. The way he said it, so matter of fact, I wonder if that Cyclops eye of his could see into the future. He headed down to the beach and whisked Rainbow the hippocampus. Let's go. Rainbow, you'll have to see it. Burst out of the waves. I watched the two of them ride off together into the realm of Poseidon. Once they were gone, I looked down at my new wristwatch. I pressed the button, and the shield spiraled into full size. Hammered into the bronze were pictures in the ancient Greek style. Scenes from our adventure. This summer, there was Annabeth slaying the Link Strigonian dodgeball player. Me fighting the bronze bulls on Half-Blood Hill. Tyson riding Rainbow toward the Princess Andromeda. The CSS Birmingham blasting cannons at Tribdis. I ran my hands across a picture of Tyson battling the Hydra as he held aloft a box of monster donuts. I couldn't help feeling sad. I knew Tyson would have an awesome time under the ocean. But I'd miss everything about him. His fascination with horses, the way he could fix chariots or crumble metal with his bare hands, or tie bad guys into knots. I'd even miss him snoring like an earthquake in the next bunk all night. Dang, his cabin is empty again. Hey Percy, I turned. Annabeth and Grover were standing at the top of the sand dune. I guess maybe I had some sand in my eyes, because I was blinking a lot. Tyson, I told them he had to. We know, Amber said softly. Kyron told us. Cyclops Forges, Grover shuddered. I hear the cafeteria food there is terrible. Like, no enchiladas at all. I love they're bringing back the enchiladas thing. Annabeth held out her hand. Come on, Seaweed Brain. Time for dinner. She hasn't called him that all book, I think. We walked back toward the dining pavilion together, just the three of us, like old times. Percy has drip? Percy does have drip, bro. Percy has mad drip, dude. Hey, Noah. Welcome into the spoilers section of the book. Everything you don't know, even if you're still in here. It is pretty sick to have a shield with images of your conquests on it, as if you're warding enemies. Look what I have done. That is pretty sick. He does have that ice. He has ice, bro. He has weaponized ice. Is what this is. Freaking beating ass with a wristwatch and shit. A storm raged that night, but it parted around Camp Half-Blood as storms usually did. Lightning flashed against the horizon, waves pounded the shore. Lightning flashed against the horizon, waves pounded the shore, but a drop fell in our valley. We were protected again, thanks to the fleece, sealed inside our magical borders. Omnitrix style really is. Yeah, it really is. Still, my dreams are restless. I heard Kronos taunting me from the depths of Tartarus. Polyphemus sits blindly in his cave, young hero, believing he has won a great victory. Are you any less deluded? Oh, dang, that's a hard line. Whoa, that's a hard line. The Titan's cold laughter filled the darkness. Then my dream changed. I was following Tyson to the bottom of the sea, into the court of Poseidon. It was radiant, a hall filled with blue light, the floor cobbled with pearls, and there on a throne of coral sat my father, dressed like a simple fisherman, in khaki shorts and sun-bleached t-shirt. I looked up into his tan, weathered face, his deep green eyes, and he spoke 2 words. Brace yourself. Oh yeah, it's coming back. Bro, don't even. The Omnitrix is the ultimate drip. This is true. There is no drip like the Omnitrix. Hoes go crazy for the green watch. Oh, that reminds me of something, but it technically doesn't matter, so I'm not even gonna bring it up. There was a banging on the door. Grover flew inside without waiting for permission. Percy, he stammered. Annabeth, on the hill. She. The look in his eyes told me something was terribly wrong. Annabeth had been on guard duty that night, protecting the fleece. If something had happened, I ripped off my covers, my blood like ice water in my veins. I threw on some clothes while Grover tried to make a complete sentence, but he was too stunned, too out of breath. She's lying there! Just lying there! I ran outside and raced across the central yard, Grover right behind me. Dawn was just breaking, but the whole camp seemed to be stirring. Word was spreading. Something huge had happened. A few campers were already making their way toward the hill. Satyrs and nymphs and heroes in a weird mix of armor and pajamas. I heard the clop of horse hooves, and Chiron galloped up behind us, looking grim. Is it true? He asked Grover. Grover could only nod, his expression dazzled. I tried to ask what was going on, but Chiron grabbed me by the arm and effortlessly lifted me onto his back. Together we thundered up Half-Blood Hill, where a small crowd had started to gather. I expected to see the fleece missing the pine tree, but it was still there, glittering in the first light of dawn. The storm had broken, and the sky was blood red. Curse the Titan Lord, Chiron said. He's tricked us again. Wait. There's no way. There's no way this was... There's no way he wanted them to escape with the fleece? Just thinking that you've won a great victory. But he's just increasing... Yo. Giving himself another chance to control the prophecy. What do you mean, I asked. The fleece, he said. The fleece did its work too well. We galloped forward, everyone moving out of our way. There, at the base of the tree, a girl was lying unconscious. Another girl in Greek armor was kneeling next to her. Blood roared in her ears. I couldn't think straight. Annabeth had been attacked, but why was the fleece still there? The tree itself looked perfectly fine, whole and healthy, just suffused with the essence of the golden fleece. It healed the tree, Chiron said, his voice ragged, and poison was not the only thing it purged. But I realized Annabeth wasn't the one lying on the ground. She was the one in the armor, kneeling next to the unconscious girl. When Annabeth saw us, she ran to Chiron. She just suddenly there. Her eyes were streaming with tears. But I still didn't understand. I was too freaked out to make sense of it all. I leaped off Kyron's back and ran toward the unconscious girl. Kyron said, "Percy, wait!" I knelt by her side. She had short black hair, freckles across her nose. She was built like a long-distance runner, lithe and strong. She wore clothes that were somewhere between punk and goth. A black t-shirt, black tattered jeans, and a leather jacket with buttons from a bunch of bands I'd never heard of. She wasn't a camper. I didn't recognize her from any of the cabins, and yet I had the strongest feeling I'd seen her before. In your dreams, bro. Literally the girl of your dreams. It's true, Grover said, panting from his run up the hill. I can't believe. Nobody else came close to the girl. I put my hand on her forehead. Her skin was cold, but my fingertips tingled as if they were burning. She needs nectar, ambrosia, I said. She was clearly a half-blood, whether she was a camper or not. I could sense that just from one touch. I didn't understand why everyone was acting so scared. I took her by the shoulders and lifted her into sitting position, resting her head on my shoulders. Come on, I yelled to the others. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you people? Let's get her to the big house. No one moved, not even Kyron. They were all too stunned. Then the girl shook a shaky breath. She coughed and opened her eyes. Her irises were startlingly blue, electric blue. The girl stared at me in bewilderment, shivering and wild-eyed. Who? I'm Percy, I said. You're safe now. Strangest dream. It's okay. Dying. No, I assured her. You're okay. What's your name? That's when I knew. Even before she said it. The girl's blue eyes stared into mine, and I understood what the Golden Fleece's quest had been about. The poisoning of the tree. Everything Kronos had done to bring a chess piece into play. Another chance to control the prophecy. Even Kyron, Annabeth, and Grover, who should have been celebrating this moment, were too shocked, thinking about what it meant for the future. And I was holding someone who was destined to be my best friend, or possibly my worst enemy. I am Thalia, the girl said, daughter of Zeus. And that's the end of the book. Imagine how crazy that would have been had you not seen the movie or you known the last sentence of the book first. This is true. This is true. But I had already seen the movie, so reading the last sentence was like nothing. But I remember how shocked I was when I still remember the feeling of how shocked I was when I saw it in the movie and Thalia had gotten up. She's like, I still remember how she said it. I am Thalia, daughter of Zeus. And I was like, what? What? Oh, me as a 7-year-old, what? I was crazy. But I can. Okay, I'm just reading the acknowledgements really quickly. That's interesting. Yeah, okay. Wow. Wow. That was Percy Jackson and the Olympians, The Sea of Monsters. That is a banger of an ending, dude. It's like we spend the entire book worried about this prophecy. What could this prophecy mean? Is Percy the only one in the prophecy? He has to be the one in the prophecy. He has to be the one that the prophecy is talking about. There's nobody else. There's no other half-blood children of the big three. And then at the end, the entire reason Kronos was like, hey, yo, go poison the tree, Luke. Luke poisoned the tree. And then the only reason he had him do that was so that homie would go get the fleece because he knew it would work its magic too well and bring back Thalia, daughter of Zeus, to be like, listen, I'm shifting the odds of the prophecy. That is I love Rick's uses of prophecy, man. It's so cool. And the books only get better. Oh, it's so exciting. That's so exciting, man. Imagine waiting a year for the next book. Honestly, imagine, couldn't be me. Because I could just get up. Hold on, 1 second. I could just get up here, reach into my little thingy and pull it out, baby. Bam. Right there. The next book that we're gonna get into in a second, The Titan's Curse. Dude. I love how when you get done holding a book, it feels like you've read it. You know what I mean? Like, you can feel the weight of, like, I don't know if it's like the sweat that is like on your hands or something, or like how it's like, maybe it's because the pages are more like pulled apart and stuff because you've been opening them, but you can feel it feels heavier and like dirtier and used versus a book that I've never touched before. Like this clean, like this book is much cleaner. Kronos is going galaxy brain. That is really, bro. I didn't know how to feel about Kronos as a villain before. Now I'm really starting to be like, oh, this might be a scary ass dude. Like obviously he's the parent of, he's Percy's grandpa. You know what I mean? He's a scary guy. But like now it's like crazy. Honestly, it would be cool to see your reaction from the first 3 chapters instead of just the first. Oof. Did something important happen? How many? Because the thing is, I've already been streaming for an hour and a half. So if I were to do that, then what is it? Then I'll have to stream for a lot longer, probably like another hour and a half. We'll see. I won't say no, but we'll see because I was only planning to do the first chapter because I am also this is also all going into a video because I've recorded myself off screen reading the stuff that I don't stream, and I'm only reading like down the other parts, like the big parts that I see, like, oh, something cool is happening. Like I usually read the middle, the beginning, and the end on stream, which is what I've decided I'm doing. And then the other stuff I recorded off stream, and that's gonna go into a big video where I'm like where I talk about reading all the books. So we'll see. If this first chapter slaps unfathomably hard, and I just want to keep reading, then I'll. See how the first chapter ends. I don't remember if it was the first 3 or the first 2. Okay, I'm more inclined to do the first 2 than the first 3. So we shall see. But Percy Jackson and the Olympians, The Titan's Curse, man. It's always fun for me to look after just a new book cover. I like all the cover art in this. I think it's really cool. I also like that the cover art like meshes together into an image. I think that's really sick. I wonder what the Titan's curse is. It's obviously Kronos' curse, and I'm sure this book is going to put Thalia front and center. I'm sure it will. So I'm not like shocked that it's probably the Titan's curse is probably a curse on Thalia, is what I would guess. Let's make some. Oh, actually, before we just let me rate this book before we talk about the Titan's curse. Let me rate this book. I am gonna give what I give Lightning Thief. Did I give it like a 7.5? I'm gonna give Sea of Monsters an 8. I'll give Sea of Monsters. I enjoyed it about an 8. I think yeah, I enjoyed it more than the Lightning Thief. I think a lot more than the Lightning Thief. It's really cool. Even though the Lightning Thief probably still has the best name out of all of them, the Lightning Thief is just so epic and filled with mystery. I think naming books is an art that I'm a connoisseur in. I study book naming, and like not even just book naming, just like naming of anything, episode titles, show titles, movie titles. I'm like, okay, Lightning Thief is one of the coolest titles I've ever heard. Like, how do you steal lightning? You know what I mean? That's what you think when you first see it. But yeah, I love the rescue arc aspect, like everything. I was sitting here like thinking before, like last night when I had just read up to chapters 18 and stopped before when I was thinking about like the story, and I was thinking about like the themes, what the story was trying to teach me. You know what I mean? I didn't really get it at first. I was like, maybe it's some vague thing about family or like brotherhood, and like I was like, that hasn't really been like emphasized a lot. Like, it has been, but it hasn't been given it. But when Tyson gave me that speech, when he was talking to Percy, he's like, I prayed for a brother. And like, unlike other Cyclops, the Lightning Thief is a badass name for a book or a title of a person. Yes, it is. Bro, like, imagine, like, be like, this is Luke Castellan, the Lightning Thief. You'd be like, I'm sorry? You're who? You're what? You know, like I'd immediately be like, oh, this is the man. This is he's that guy. But no, when Tyson's speech, like, really, the themes of this story really came together. And I think basically the true, like, thematic final battle was Percy and Tyson, two brothers of Poseidon, versus Polyphemus, a brother of Poseidon who was not like them, who was withdrawn from his family, who doesn't acknowledge the sea, anything like that. Like, he's like, and it's like the family of the gods is like strong, you know what I mean? And it's like, and I really like that a lot. That's just really cool. So yeah, I really freaking enjoyed Sea of Monsters, man. I really enjoyed Sea of Monsters. But it is time to start Titan's Curse. The Titan's Curse. Pre-book predictions. Just judging based off of just some stuff I heard. I'm going to say that this horse Percy is riding is Luke's horse. I don't know, because they told us about a black Pegasus, and the other Pegasus is Pegasi don't look black on this. And it's like, that's the only black Pegasus I've ever seen. So I'm like, he stole Luke's horse, which I'm sure that's pretty freaking funny. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know anything. I can't derive anything else about this book from the cover, to be completely honest. Like, in the other ones, you can be like, if you know something about Greek mythology, you can be like, okay, here's Scylla, here's Charybdis, Sea of Monsters, they're going to Sea of Monsters, Polyphemus. Like you can, probably not Polyphemus, you couldn't, but like the other stuff, you could be like, okay, they're going to the ocean, into the Sea of Monsters with these things, you know what I mean? And the other one, like, the Titan's Curse, and I think the Last Olympian book are just like the most vague book covers and names, because I'm like, what does this mean? What does that mean? What's happening? And also, like, obviously the joke, the damn joke, I think apparently that's gonna be a thing in this. I think the Titans has something to do with Thalia. Oh, hold on. Maybe they're going back to LA, because I see a vague San Francisco bridge in the back. I see like a faded San Francisco bridge. Maybe that has something to do with it. So that might be a thing. And what else? Oh yeah. I think I might as well tell you now. Might be a little bit disappointing. That's my least favorite redesign out of all the books. I mean, both the Titan cover, the Titan's Curse designs look relatively the same. Like, hold on. Let's give me just a second. Let me open this up. See your thing. Both they're pretty much just the Pegasus. The Titan's Curse. Images. Yeah, the new one really didn't improve. Like, hold on, open image, a new tab. Oh, that's small. This is not the most clear image in the world, but they're mostly just this. Like, this one is kind of more epic. I think I probably like this one better, I'm not gonna lie, because he's overlooking the city, he's on this thing. It's like epic, gives you like a grand sense of adventure. This one is just like, oh, he's a dude and he's a flying. But I think it looks better when you put all the books together, and it's like, this one's in the center, and it's like the dudes on the Pegasus, like, hunting. The old cover will mean more once you reach a certain point in the book. That's exciting. I do remember, like, I was looking at the old cover for the Sea of Monsters as well, and they were on a bridge. I was like, this bridge is apparently important, and it was. So that's cool. Even though I do like the new cover better. I think I like the new cover for Lightning Thief as well better. The new cover for the Lightning Thief is sick. It's so hard. It's probably like my favorite one out of them all. But yeah, let's hold on. Let's put up. I downloaded this I think yesterday, just like I did for the other one. Okay, it's bam, bam, right there. There he goes. Whoop, there he is. Percy Jackson, that man. Crap. Okay, cool. Yeah, Percy is standing on the giant statue of his... Yeah, it is. It's so hard. And the waves and the ocean in the back, and he's just like... Dude, that's so sick. But alright. I think I might... This is my thing that I think is going to happen, because I was spoiled on something. Really pissed that I was spoiled on this. Like, I gotta be honest with you guys so you know. Nico D'Angelo and Bianca D'Angelo. I know who they are, and I know who they're the kids of, and I know they're a thing. And my guess, spoilers do suck, bro. Spoilers do suck. I was so mad. I was so mad. I was like, cause these night I was sitting here thinking about lighting. I was like, I know Thalia's a thing because I've seen the movies. I was like, I wonder if there are any kids of Hades. I wonder if that's a thing. I was like, I guess I'll never know until I read the books. And then some idiot in the comments was just like, dude, Percy Jackson has me spoiling all the time on TikTok, dude. I was watching this person who had just never read the books, and they were like, they were giving their theories, and their fan theory was that Grover was the kid of Hades. It's so cool when you don't know. I know, I'm sure. Grover was a fan of Hades, and they were like, remember the name Nico, and I was like, bro, why would you say that? Because I had heard the name Nico before, and I had heard that he was a fan favorite character, but I didn't know who they were the kids of. It was my hope, for some reason, it was my headcanon that they were a child of Aphrodite, because I think Aphrodite's gonna get snubbed in this series. Watching other creators reading the books, I didn't watch them read the books. I didn't do that. It was a TikTok slideshow of them talking about the Disney Plus show. They were watching the Disney Plus show for the first time, and they were like, I've never read the books. This is a Disney Plus show. Here are this. I'm just watching the show. Here are my theories just from the Disney Plus show. That's what it was. I was like, okay, I'm also watching the show. What are your theories? Like, I wanted to read them to know. That's what it was. I didn't think they would find me there. That's spoilers. But I wanted Nico to be a kid of Aphrodite, because like I want a cool Aphrodite child. Because I feel like she's not gonna get. Don't tell me if she does. Don't tell me if Aphrodite gets some cool kid representation. That's what I've always. I still have high hopes for a cool kid of Aphrodite to come and beat some ass. That's what I want. Yeah, it is. I don't know when. I think it's in this book that I'm gonna meet Nico. So if that's the thing, I'm excited for that. Don't tell me if I do or not. I still want to be surprised when I do end up meeting him. So, but I know whereabouts he is, I think. I think he's like, that like, dude, comments be a pitch, bro. Like, I like literally, dude, I was literally on the Percy Jackson, Disney Plus account. Like the Disney Plus show account, where they were just advertising the show, and it was like a Hades edit. Yes, it should be a standard because it should be like spoiler. Like if you haven't read the books, especially like I was watching a Hades edit on the Disney Plus official account, and they were like, Hades be the type of guy to leave his kids in the Lotus Casino for 7 years and forget. I'm like, now I guess I know everything about how Nico D'Angelo comes to be. There's more good characters brought in the Heroes of Olympus series. I've heard, so I'm excited for that. But all right, those are all my pre-book thoughts. That was a long preamble, but time to turn this book into a cold. Oh, actually, I have yet to read the synopsis of this. So I'm taking a long time to get into this, but I want to read this. I haven't read the synopsis. I thought I was gonna get spoiled because I always grade book synopses as well. That's the thing that I like doing. Percy's 7th grade year has been surprisingly quiet. Not a single monster has set foot on his New York prep school campus. When an innocent game of dodgeball among his classmates turned into a death match against an ugly game of cannibal giants, things get, well, ugly, and the unexpected arrival of his friend Annabeth brings more bad news. The magical borders that protect Camp Half-Blood have been poisoned by a mysterious enemy, and unless a cure is found, the only safe haven for demigods will be destroyed. In this fresh, funny, and wildly popular follow-up to the Lightning Thief, Percy and his friends must journey to Sea of Monsters to save their camp. But first, Percy will discover a stunning new secret about his family, one that makes him question whether being climbed as Poseidon is an honor or simply a cruel joke. 6. It was cool in the beginning, and they ruined it with the, let's follow up to the Lightning Thief. I hate when they do that. But I know what this is a follow-up to. But alright. Time to ruin this book and wear it and tear it down by opening the first page. So here we go. Percy Jackson and the Olympians, the Titans Curse. Alright, this one feels... Is this the same thickness? This is the same thickness, okay. Never mind, it's slightly longer, because I can see that it from the thing goes into the 300s, but I'm not reading the chapter titles, but I can see that the page goes into the 300s. Alright. Okay. This is why stuff like this stream is cool and fun, but also dangerous because people get too excited and spoil stuff while they tease later stuff. I know! Learn how to tease properly, man. Like, if you were gonna tease, if you were gonna tease, I'd just be like, nah, Hades has no kids. Hades has no kids, actually. That's what I would say. I'd be like, nah. It doesn't happen. That's what I would say. Because then they're even going to be more shocked. They're going to be disappointed. They're like, that person lied to me. It's just a lot more fun. Like, that way. Like, you lied. You said that this thing was... Yeah, I lied. And guess what? You were 2 times as shocked. Don't tease, just gaslight. That's what you do. Hades doesn't have kids. Oh, word? Oh, dang. That's so sad. so sad, bro. I wish he did have a kid. Nico D'Angelo, son of Aphrodite. Anyways. Alright. Alright. Page 1. Chapter 1. My rescue operation goes very wrong. The Friday before winter break, my mom packed me an overnight bag and a few deadly weapons and took me to a new boarding school. We picked up my friends, Annabeth and Thalia, on the way. Okay, a lot has happened. Nobody has kids. Percy is just in a coma. Yeah. Yeah. It was all a dream. It was the last... That's why everybody cries in The Last Olympian. Because the last chapter is, it was all a dream. I was in a psych ward this whole time because I'm actually fucking crazy. But yeah, a lot has happened, clearly. Time skip. It was an 8-hour drive from New York to Bar Harbor, Maine. Sleet and snow pounded the highway. Annabeth, Thalia, and I haven't seen each other in months. Between the blizzard and the thought... Like, it feels like I missed a book in between this. Like, it feels like I missed a book. You know what I mean? Like, I wanted to see how they first interacted with each other. But I guess, I'm sure he'll tell us about it, because he's Percy. Between the blizzard and the thought of what we were about to do, we were too nervous to talk much. Except for my mother. She talks more when she's nervous. But by the time we finally got to Westover Hall, it was getting dark, and she told Annabeth and Thalia every embarrassing baby story there was to tell about me. Thalia wiped off the fog of the car window and peered outside. Oh yeah, this'll be fun. Westover Hall looked like an evil knight's castle. It was all black stone with towers and slit windows and big set of wooden double doors. It stood on a snowy cliff overlooking this big frosty forest on one side and the gray churning ocean on the other. Are you sure you don't want me to wait? My mother asked. Yeah, this does take place the same year. Yeah, you're right, because they just said Christmas. This is Christmas break. So, you're correct on that. Percy is still 13. No thanks, Mom, I said. I don't know how long it will take. We'll be okay. I always hate this, though. I always hate this feeling of, like, when you open a book for the first time and it's, like, it's thin here. Like, it feels like, ugh. Like, I much prefer when I'm, like, in the middle and I'm, like, in the meat of the story and I'm, like, it's full, even page holding. But that's just a pet peeve. But it's like, oh, it just encouraged me to read for this so I don't have to hold this flimsiness. Alright. I don't know how long it'll take, but we'll be okay. But But how will you get back? I'm worried, Percy. I hoped I wasn't blushing. It was bad enough I had to depend on my mom to drive me to battles. I guess you gotta read faster. This is true. That's so... His mom has to drive him to battles. That's so good. Mom, there's kind of a war going. Oh, they're starting a war at Camp Half-Blood. Can I go, please? Can I go to the war? All my friends are gonna be at the war, Mom. That's so funny, dude. It's okay, Miss Jackson. Emma smiled reassuringly. Her blonde, you mean black? You mean black hair? Her black hair and black face was tucked into a ski mask, and her gray eyes were the same color as the ocean. We'll keep him out of trouble. My mom seemed to relax a little. She thinks Annabeth is the most level-headed demigod ever to hit 8th grade. She's sure Annabeth often keeps me from getting killed. She's right. That doesn't mean I have to like it. You also keep her from getting killed. It's fine. All right, dears, my mom said. Do you have everything you need? Yes, Miss Jackson, Thalia said. Thanks for the ride. Where does Thalia live? Where's her mom? You know what I mean? Extra sweaters? Like, yeah. Oh, her mom thought she was dead for a long time back. Like, what does she just live with Percy now? Like, what's the deal with that? Like, cousin Thalia. Also, Thalia's Annabeth's auntie, and I think that's hilarious. Thalia is everyone's auntie at camp except for Percy. That's so funny. Question for later. Are you gonna ask it now, or are you gonna ask it later? Or did I just ask a question for later? I'm sure you'll tell me. Yeah, okay. Alright, dears, my mom said. Do you have everything you need? Yes, Miss Jackson. Nice, thanks. Okay, I already read that part. No, yes, no. No, did you say it twice? No, I already read that part. Your question about the mom. Oh, okay. Yes, Miss Jackson, Dolly said. Thanks for the ride. Extra sweaters? You have my cell phone number? Mom! We're going to battle, Mom! Your ambrosia and nectar, Percy, and a golden drachma in case you need to contact camp. Mom! Seriously, you'll be fine. I love it. I love this. Come on, guys. She looked a little hurt. And I was sorry about that. But I was ready to be out of that car. My mom told one more story about how cute I looked in the bathtub when I was 3 years old. I was going to burrow into the snow and freeze myself to death. Felt. Annabeth and Thalia followed me outside. The wind blew straight through my coat like ice daggers. Once my mother's car was out of sight, Thalia said, "Your mom is so cool, Percy." I can tell I'm already gonna like Thalia. I can tell. She's pretty okay, I admitted. What about you? You ever get in touch with your mom? There isn't one line later. It's more like one page later. As soon as I said it, I wish I hadn't. Thalia was great at giving evil looks. With that punk clothes she always wears, the ripped jeans and army jacket, black leather pants and chain jewelry, and black eyeliner and those intense blue eyes. I love that you are doing this. Shaughnessy Feeney. I feel like I've seen you before, but I also don't know if I haven't. But welcome in regardless. It's nice to have you. And yes, it's quite fun reading the Percy Jackson books with you guys. It's been nice. I've been enjoying it a lot. There. And intense black eyeliner and those intense blue eyes. I love that Percy's eyes are green and hers are blue. Wonder what color? No, anyways. But the look she gave me now was perfect. Was a perfect evil 10. If that was any of your business, Percy. We better get inside. Beth interrupted. Grover will be waiting. Let's go. Grover's here. You'll love to see it. Every time Grover's here, I'm happy. Thalia looked at the castle and shivered. You're right. I wondered what he found here that made him send the distress call. I stared about the dark towers of the Westover Hall. Nothing good, I guessed. The oak doors groaned open, and the three of us stepped into the entry hall in a swirl of snow. All I could say was, whoa. The place was huge. The walls were lined with battle flags and weapon displays, antique rifles, battle axes, and a bunch of other stuff. I mean, I knew Westover was a military school and all, but the decoration seemed like overkill. Literally. My hand went to my pocket, where I kept my lethal ballpoint pen, riptide. I could already sense something wrong in this place. Something dangerous. Thalia was Thalia was rubbing her silver bracelet, her favorite magic item. I knew we were thinking the same thing. A fight was coming. Oh, Thalia has a magic item that looks like... Okay, so I was right about that. Yeah. Thalia has a magic item that looks like a regular thing, too. After I started, I wonder where... The door slammed shut behind us. Okay, I mumbled. Guess we'll stay a while. I could hear music echoing from the other ends of the hall. It sounded like dance music. We stashed our overnight bags behind pillars and started down the hall. We hadn't gone very far when I heard footsteps on the stone floor, and a man and woman marched out of the shadows to intercept us. They both had short gray hair and a black military-style uniform with red trim. The woman had a wispy mustache, and the guy was clean-shaven, which seemed kind of backward to me. They both walked stiffly, like they had broomsticks taped to their spines. Well, the woman said, "What are you doing here?" I realized I hadn't planned for this. I've been so focused on getting to Grover and finding out what was wrong, I hadn't considered that someone might question 3 kids sneaking into the school at night. Ugh, God. I hate the midstream burps. Every time. I hate them. We hadn't talked at all in the car about how we would get inside. I said, "Ma'am, we're just..." "Ha!" the man snapped, which made me jump. "Visitors are not allowed at the dance. You shall be ejected." He had an accent. French, maybe? He pronounced his J's like Jacques. Jacques. He was tall with a hawkish face. Ejected. His nostrils flared when he spoke, which made it really hard not to stare up his nose. And his eyes were 2 different colors, one brown, one blue, like an alley cat's. I figured he was... My room is getting darker. I need to turn on this light. Okay. I figured he's about to toss us into the snow, but then Thalia stepped forward and did something very weird. She snapped her fingers. The sound was sharp and loud. Maybe it was just my imagination, but I felt a gust of wind ripple out of her hand. Across the room, it washed over all of us, making the banners rustle on the walls. "Oh, but we're not visitors, sir," Thalia said. "We go to school here. You remember, I'm Thalia. This is Annabeth and Percy. We're in 8th grade." Is Thalia manipulating the mist? Does she know how to manipulate the mist? Is Thalia that girl? Is she badass? The male teacher narrowed his 2-colored eyes. I didn't know what Thalia was thinking. Now we'd probably get punished for lying and thrown into the snow, but the man seemed to be hesitating. He looked at his colleague, Miss Gottschalk. "Do you know these students?" Despite the danger we were in, I had to bite my tongue to keep from laughing. A teacher named Gottschalk had yet to be kicked. The woman blinked like someone had just woken her from the trance. Yes, I believe I do, sir." She frowned at us. "Annabeth, Thalia, Percy, what are you doing away from the gymnasium?" Before we could answer, I heard more footsteps, and Grover ran up, breathless. "You made it! You..." He stopped short when he saw the teachers. "Oh, Miss Gottschalk, Dr. Thorne. What is it, Mr. Underwood?" said the man. His tone made it clear that he detested Grover. "What do you mean they made it? These students live here." "She is her. This is good. This is good." Grover swallowed. "Yes, sir. Of course, Dr. Thorne. I just meant, I'm so glad they made the punch for the dance. The punch is great, and they made it." Dr. Thorne glared at us. I decided one of his eyes had to be fake. The brown one, the blue one. He looked like he wanted to pitch us like the cat off the castle's highest tower. But then Miss Gottschalk said dreamily, "Yes, the punch is excellent. Now run along, all of you. You are not to leave the gymnasium again." We didn't wait to be told twice. We lifted with a lot of yes ma'ams and yes sirs, and a couple of salutes just because it seemed like the right thing to do. That's funny. Grover hustled down from the hall in the direction of the music. I could feel the teacher's eyes on the back of my head, but I walked closely to Thalia and asked in a low voice, "How did you do the finger snap thing?" "You mean the mist? Hasn't Kyron shown you how to do that yet?" "Yeah. Yep." An uncomfortable lump formed in my throat. Kyron was our head trainer at camp, but he'd never shown me anything like that. Why had he shown Thalia and not me? Daughter of Zeus be like. Grover hurried us to the door, and that had that had gym written on the glass. Even with dyslexia, I could read that much. That was close, Grover said. Thank the gods you got here. Annabeth and Thalia both hugged Grover. I gave him a big high five. It was good to see him after so many months. He'd gotten a little taller and sprouted a few more whiskers. But otherwise, look, he always did. When he passed for human, a red cap on his curly brown hair to hide his goat horns, baggy jeans and sneakers with fake feet to hide his furry legs and hooves. He was wearing a black T-shirt that took me a few seconds to read. It said Westover Hall Grunt. I wasn't sure whether that was like Grover's rank or maybe just the school's motto. So what's the emergency? I asked. Grover took a deep breath. I found two. 2 half-bloods? Thalia asked. Here? Grover nodded. Really? Finding 1 half-blood was rare enough. This year, Kyra and I put the satyrs on emergency overtime and sent them all over the country, scouring schools from 4th grade. Wait, is he not still looking for Pan? Or is he just... Oh, I guess he just doesn't have to. I guess he just doesn't have to. He just has the license if he ever feels like doing it. All the satyrs on emergency overtime and sent them all over the country, scouring schools from 4th grade through high school for possible recruits. These were desperate times. We were losing campers. Damn, Luca's doing work. We needed all the new fighters we could find. The problem was there just weren't that many demigods out there. A brother and a sister, he said. They're 10 and 12. I don't know their parentage, but they're strong. We're running out of time though. I need help. Monsters? 1. Grover looked nervous. He suspects I don't think he's positive yet. This is the last day of the term. I'm sure he won't let them leave campus without finding out. It may be our last chance. Every time I try to get close to them, he's always there, blocking me. I don't know what to do. Grover looked at Thalia desperately. I tried to feel upset. Oh man, I think I know what's happening. I know what's happening and I'm excited. Grover looked to me for answers, but Thalia had seniority, not just because her dad was Zeus. Thalia had more experience than any of us with fending off monsters in the real world. Right, she said. These half-bloods are at the dance. Grover nodded. Then let's dance. Thalia said, who's the monster? Oh, Grover said, and looked around nervously. You just met him. The vice principal, Dr. Thorne. Weird thing about military schools, the kids go absolutely nuts with their special events, and they get to be out of the uniform. I guess it's because everything is so strict. The rest of the time, I feel like they've got to overcompensate or something. There were black and red balloons all over the gym floor, and the guys were kicking them in each other's faces. Just kicking them in each other's faces, or trying to strangle each other with crepe paper steamers taped to the walls. Girls moved around in the football huddles the way they always do, wearing lots of makeup and spaghetti strap tops, brightly colored pants, in shoes that looked like torture devices. Facts. Every once in a while, they'd surround some poor guy like a pack of piranhas, shrieking and giggling. When they finally moved on, the guy would have ribbons on his hair and a bunch of lipstick graffiti all over his face. Nah, we'd have to fight. If I was a guy like that, we'd have to fight. Nah, you're not putting lipstick on me. No way. Some of the older guys look more like me, uncomfortable, hanging out at the edges of the gym and trying to hide like any minute they might have to fight for their lives, of course. In any case, it was true. There they are, Grover nodded toward a couple of younger kids arguing in the bleachers. Bianca, Nika, D'Angelo! I know I got spoiled and stuff, but did I call that shit or what? Did I call that shit or what? Let's freaking go. I thought I would have to wait to at least get to the middle of the book before I would see them. But my boy Riordan was like, listen, we introduced Thalia basically 10 pages ago. Okay? Like, listen, you introduced Thalia 10 pages ago, 8 pages later, 10 pages ago in a different book rather, but basically 10 pages ago. 8 pages later, gotta complete the big 3 trio. You know what it is? Like, Let's go, dude. I'm happy that we get to spend. Now we're going fast for that. Yes. Dude, I'm so happy that I get to spend the whole book with these characters. The whole... Nah, Titan's Curse. I'm 8 pages in. I'm 8 pages in. Titan's Curse, bro. Oof, I'm excited. I'm excited. The girl wore a floppy green cap, like she was trying to hide her face. The boy was obviously her little brother. Oh, he's the 10-year-old. And Bianca's older than him. Interesting. They both had dark, silky hair and olive skin. Olive skin. And they used their hands a lot as they talked. The boy was shuffling some kind of trading cards. Her sister seemed to be scolding him about something. She kept looking around like she sensed something was wrong. Emma said, have you told them? Grover shook his head. You know how it is. That could put them in more danger. Once they realize who they are, their scent becomes stronger. He looked at me. I nodded. Wait, so... interesting. Because my theory was, based on the comment that I read, that Hades left these kids in the freaking, what is it? The Lotus Casino. But if they're in this thing, and they don't know they're kids of Hades, then, like, maybe Hades broke the pact too? I don't know. What is it? No, it is. Once they realize who they are, their scent becomes stronger. He looked at me and I nodded. I never really understood what half-bloods smell like to monsters and theaters, but I knew that your scent could get you killed. And the more powerful a demigod you became, the more you smelled like a monster's lunch. So let's grab them and get out of here. I said. I started forward, but Thalia put her hand on my shoulder. The vice principal, Dr. Thorne, slipped out of a doorway near the bleachers and was standing near the D'Angelo siblings. He nodded coldly in our direction. His blue eyes seemed to glow. Judging from his expression, I guess Thorne hadn't been fooled by Thalia's trick with mist after all. Hold on. Let me go back. Okay. Sorry, I just wanted to reread something really quickly. He suspected who we were. He was just waiting to see why we were there. I mean, listen, if I'm a monster and I see a kid do this and then convince another person that, like, they're here, well, I'm a monster and I can see through the mist, I'd be like, okay, half-bloods. You don't have to suspect that shit. It's like, duh, you know? He was waiting to see why we were here. Don't look at the kids, Thalia ordered. I have to wait for a chance to get them, which is a weird sentence. We pretended that we're not interested in them. That's another weird sentence. Throwing him off the scent. Throw him off the scent. How? We're 3 powerful half-bloods. Our presence should confuse him. Mingle, act natural, do some dancing, but keep an eye on those kids. Dancing? Annabeth asked. Thalia nodded. She cocked her ear at the music and made a face. Who chose the Jesse McCartney? Grover looked hurt. I did. Oh my god, Grover, that is so lame. Can't you play like Green Day or something? Green who? Never mind. Yeah, okay. Thalia is a rock girl, for sure. Never mind, let's dance. But I can't dance. You can if I'm leading, Thalia said. Come on, Goat Boy. So they all call him Goat Boy? Both of the girls? That's mean. Percy just calls him G-Man. Grover yelped at Thalia, grabbed his hand, and led him onto the dance floor. Annabeth smiled. What? I asked. Nothing. It's just cool to have Thalia back. Yeah, I know, which is something you probably should have said like 6-7 months ago. But whatever. I'm sure it's still cool after a bunch of years of not having her back. Annabeth had grown taller than me since last summer, which I found kind of disturbing. She used to wear no jewelry except for her Camp Half-Blood necklace, but now she wore a little silver earring shaped like owls, a symbol of her mother, Athena. And she pulled off her ski cap, and her long, not blonde, black hair had stumbled down her shoulders and made her look older for some reason. So, I tried to think of something to say. Act natural, Thalia had told us. When you're half put on a dangerous mission, what the heck is natural? Design any good buildings lately? And with eyes lit up, the way she always did when she talked about architecture. Oh my God, Percy! At my at my new school, I got to take a 3D design as an elective, and there's this cool computer program. I love that. She's a nerd about architecture. Love it. She went on to explain how she designed this huge monument, and she wanted to build it at Ground Zero in Manhattan. She talked about structural supports and facades and stuff, and I tried to listen. I knew she wanted to be a super architect when she grew up. She loves math and historical buildings and all that, but I hardly understood a word she was saying. The truth was, I was kind of disappointed to hear that she liked her new school so much. It was the first time she'd gone to school in New York. I'd been hoping to see her more often. It was a boarding school in Brooklyn, and she and Thalia were both attending, close enough to Camp Half-Blood Karen could help if they got in trouble, because it was an all-girls school. And I was going to MS 54. What the fuck? In Manhattan. I hardly ever saw them. Yeah, cool, I said. So you're staying there the rest of the year, huh? Her face got dark. Well, maybe. If I don't... Hey, Thalia. Hey, Thalia called to us. She was slow for dancing with Grover. She's tripping all over himself, kicking Thalia in the shins and looking like he wanted to die. At least his feet were fake. Unlike me, he had an excuse for being clumsy. Dance, you guys, Thalia ordered. You look stupid just standing there. I looked nervously at Annabeth. Then at the groups of girls who were roaming the gym. Well, Annabeth asked, who should I ask? She punched me in the gut. Me, seaweed brain! That's funny. Alright. So we went onto the dance floor, and I looked over to see how Thalia and Grover were doing things. I put one hand on Annabeth's hip, and she clasped my other hand like she was about to judo throw me. I'm not going to bite, she told me. Honestly, Percy, don't you guys have dance at your school? I didn't answer. The truth was we did. But I'd never, actually danced at one. I was actually one of the guys playing basketball in the corner. Same. He's just like me, for real. We shuffled around for a few minutes. I tried to concentrate on little things, like the crepe paper streamers and the punch bowl, anything but the fact that Annabeth was taller than me, and my hands were sweaty and probably gross, and I kept stepping on her toes. What were you saying earlier? I asked. Are you having trouble at school or something? She pursed her lips. It's not that. It's my dad. Uh-oh. I knew Annabeth had a rocky relationship with her father. I thought it was getting better with you two. Is it your stepmom again? Annabeth sighed. He decided to move, just when I was getting settled in New York. He took this stupid new job researching for a World War I book in San Francisco. She said this the same way she might say Field of Punishment or Hades gym shorts. So he wants you to move out there with him? I asked. To the side of the country, she said miserably. And half-bloods can't live in San Francisco. He should know that. What? Why not? Ava rolled her eyes. Maybe she thought I was kidding. You know what's right. You know. It's right there. Oh, I said. I had no idea what she was talking about. But I didn't want to sound stupid. The underworld, Percy. The place that you went. The underworld, your first year. So you'll go back to living at camp or what? It's more serious than that, Percy. I probably should tell you something. Suddenly she froze. They're gone. What? I followed her gaze. The bleachers, the two half-blood kids, Bianca and Nico, were no longer there. The door next to the bleachers was wide open. Wait, hold on. Also, Grover is really that man. He is on a hot streak like no satyr has ever seen before. He found Thalia, he found Percy, and then he found Bianca and Nico. Bruh. Oh, no, that's in Los Angeles? Okay, I was wrong. My bad. They're still in California. I thought it was close enough to where it's like the same thing. But Grover is on the ultimate hot streak right now. He's freaking unstoppable. Next, he's gonna be like, I found just a god. New Kid of Kronos. New Kronos kid unlocked. Like... Okay, the bleachers, two half-blood kids. We're no longer there. The door next to the bleachers was wide open. Dr. Thorne was nowhere in sight. We have to get... We have to get Thalia and Grover. Amber looked around frantically. Oh, what if they dance off too? Come on. It's Bonnie Faye. I remember you. I don't know why I remember you, but I do. Welcome back into the stream. It's been a while since I've seen you. How you been? Bro found the only 4 children of the big 3 in 100 years. I know. My boy is on a hot streak like nobody has ever seen. And she ran through the crowd. I was about to follow when a mob of girls got in my way. I maneuvered around them to avoid getting the ribbon and lipstick treatment. And by the time I was free, Amber had disappeared. I turned a full circle looking for Thalia and Grover. Instead, I saw something that chilled my blood. Hi, yeah, Grover is the chosen one for real. He is the truth. Hey, Del May, nice to see you too. It's always nice to have you guys in the stream. Grover is actually the real chosen one, bro. He's the real goat of the series. Haha, funny joke. Anyways, so I saw something. After 50 feet away, lying on the gym floor, was a floppy green cap, just like the one Bianca D'Angelo had been wearing. Near it were a few scattered trading cards. Then I caught a glimpse of Dr. Thorne. He was hurrying out of the door at the opposite end of the gym, steering the D'Angelo kids by the scruff of their necks like kittens. I still couldn't see Annabeth, but I knew she'd been heading the other way, looking for Thalia and Grover. I almost ran after her, and then I thought, wait! I remembered what Annabeth had said to me in the entry hall, looking at me all puzzled when I asked about the finger snap trick. Hasn't Chiron shown you how to do that yet? I thought about the way Grover had turned to her, expecting her to save the day. Well, hold on. I almost ran after her, and then I thought, wait. I remembered what Thalia had said. Okay. I thought about the way Grover had turned to her, expecting her to save the day. Not that I resented Thalia. She was cool. It wasn't her fault her dad was Zeus. And she got all the attention. Still, I didn't need to run after her to solve every problem. Besides, there wasn't time. The D'Angelos were in danger. I might be long gone by the time I found my friends. I knew monsters. I could handle this myself. I took out Riptide out of my pocket and ran after Dr. Thorne. That is the last sentence of the book that I read in of Sea of Monsters, when I was like, oh, let's read the last sentence of the book. And I was like, he ran after Dr. Thorne. Oh, I guess Dr. Thorne is just a quirky... what I thought was like, oh, I guess Dr. Thorne is just a quirky little character they added to Camp Half-Blood in the Sea of Monsters. And then, Anthony, you told me that that's the beginning of Titan's Curse. I thought that was the end of the chapter of Titan's Curse. And I was like, oh, just a quirky little character they added at the beginning of Titan's Curse. But no. It's not a quirky little character. It's an evil monster. It's an evil monster. Percy's beginning to realize he isn't Thalia and the Olympians, the Titan's Curse. That's so facts. Why are we even reading his perspective anymore, bro? I need to be reading the perspective of an edgy emo girl now. Yeah, I took Riptide out of my pocket and ran after Dr. Thorne. The door led into a dark hallway. I heard sounds of scruffling up ahead. Then a painful grunt. I uncapped Riptide. The pen grew in my hands until I held a bronze Greek sword about 3 feet long with a leather-bound grip. The blade glowed faintly, casting a golden light in the rows of the locker. I jogged down the corridor, but when I got to the other end, no one was there. I opened the door and found myself back in the main entry hall. I was completely turned around. I didn't see Dr. Thorne anywhere, but there on the opposite side of the room were the D'Angelo kids. I stood frozen in the horror, staring right at me. I advanced slowly, lowering the tip of my sword. It's okay. I'm not going to hurt you. They didn't answer. Their eyes were full of fear. What was wrong with them? Where was Dr. Thorne? Maybe since the presence of Riptide and retreated? Monsters hated celestial bronze weapons. My name is Percy, I said, trying to keep my voice level. I'm going to take you out of here. Get you somewhere safe. Bianca's eyes widened, her fists clenched. Only too late did I realize what her look meant. She wasn't afraid of me. She was trying to warn me. I whirled around and something went whoosh. Pain exploded in my shoulder. A force like a huge hand yanked me backward and slammed me into a wall. I slashed with my sword, but there was nothing to hit. A cold laugh echoed through the hall. Yes, Perseus Jackson, Dr. Thorne said. His accent mangled the J in my last name. Less Perseus Jackson in my last name. I know who you are. I tried to free my shoulder. My coat and my shirt were pinned to the wall by some some kind of spike. A black dagger, like projectile, but a foot long. It had grazed the skin of my shoulder as it passed through my clothes. The cut burned. I had felt something like this before. Poison. I forced myself to concentrate. I would not pass out. A dark silhouette now moved towards us. Dr. Thornton stepped into the dim light. He still looked human, but his face was ghoulish. He had perfect white teeth, and his brown blue eyes reflected the light of my sword. Thank you for coming out of the gym, he said. I hate middle school dances. I had to swing my sword again, but he was just out of reach. Whoosh! A second projectile shot out from nowhere behind me. Dr. Thorne, he didn't appear to move. It was as if something invisible were standing behind him, throwing knives next to me. Next to me, Bianca yelped. The second thorn impaled itself in the stone wall, half an inch from our face. All three of you will come with me, Dr. Thorne said, quietly, obediently. If you make a single noise, if you call for help, or if you try to fight, I will show you just how accurately I can throw. Is it even a story if it doesn't have an edgy alternative rock-loving girl with a black hair and an ad? That's facts. I don't think you can legally write anything without that happening. Actually, that's her whole personality. Honestly, I dig it. Agreed. But you are making a story in the early 2000s. You need one for girls. Yeah, this is true. I'm pretty sure it's illegal to have that not in a story. I'm pretty sure. Every writer who's ever written that not in a story, I'm pretty sure is in jail right now. That's just how it is. Literally, One Piece has one. Done. That was an interesting first chapter. Very in media res. Very in media res of just like starting in the middle of the action. They're coming in, freaking meeting Bianca and Nico, bro. I did not expect Bianca to be the older one of the two, and Nico to be the younger one. That's pretty interesting. She was the only thing Percy Jackson was missing, and now the books are complete. This is true. I can basically stop reading now because that's what I was looking for. I was waiting for the edgy emo girl to show up, and now Thalia's here. You know what I mean? So we're all good. I love the twins so much. I know a lot of people really love them, so I'm really excited to see them as characters. I'm really excited to see that's the only prediction that I had for this book. I was like, Bianca and Nico are probably going to show up because it doesn't make any sense, right? That she would introduce Thalia and then wait till Battle of the Labyrinth or something to introduce Nico. Because you need to properly build up these characters and have them be when you introduce another child of the big three, you introduce a third child fully round them out. And then I'm still heartbroken it was well for you. I know, me too. I would still be wishing that they were kids of Aphrodite. But to round out the cast and accurately build them up at the same time, that's what you got to be doing. So I was sure it was gonna be Titan's Curse, but I didn't think it was gonna be the first chapter. I was like, we're gonna get to chapter 11 and then they'll bring him out. But no, first freaking chapter. So now I have no idea what's about to happen in Titan's Curse. This is the first Percy book that I'm reading that I have absolutely no idea, because I knew pretty much everything about Lightning Thief because I'd watched the series, and I knew the most important plot details about Sea of Monsters because of the movie. So yeah, what is it? So, but I didn't know a lot of the intricate stuff, which is why I know Sea of Monsters a lot. So Titan's Curse, I'm going completely blind. Completely 100% blind. I have been streaming. Hopefully you don't get spoiled any further. Yeah, listen, now that I'm just reading the books, I'm really not looking at anything Percy Jackson related at all, on TikTok or anytime I see anything on Instagram or anything on Percy Jackson, I'm just I just don't read it at this point. So I'm just waiting. The next chapter is an important one. Okay, hold on. Let me check and see. Okay. Just scroll. Yeah, okay. This next chapter is only 12 pages. Okay, fine. Alright, fine. We're gonna read this. The next chapter is the last one we're gonna read on stream. And then I'm gonna go. because my voice is hurting. But first, I'm gonna take a swig of water. So I've been reading for 2.5 hours straight. And it's a lot shorter on this next one. Yes, water. Yeah, water. Could you tell that I prepared for Percy Jackson? There's water here, guys. Only time I ever drink water is when I'm reading Percy Jackson. And I could never read out loud for my life. Why is that? Why can't you read out loud? It will make you want to finish it. Oh, nah. Okay, fine. Hold on. Give me a second. I gotta freaking power up. I gotta call upon the power of the sea really quickly. Dyslexia? What a nerd. Imagine having dyslexia. I only have ADHD. I got the battle reflexes, but I can't read Greek. This is true. Imagine not being able to read. This is so sad. Illiterate motherfuckers be like, I have dyslexia. Anyways. Alright. Ooh, I'm excited. I'm so excited. Alright, hold on. Let me respond to somebody really quickly. Actually, I'm not going to do that. Okay. Onward to adventure. I have a similar thing. My brain and mouth just don't communicate fast enough. No, get asked to read in front of the class, and you can only speak your second language. What do you mean? Are you saying you speak 2 languages and English is your second? Is that what you're saying? Right, hold on. Alright. Oh, then I have no idea what you're talking about. But alright, well, yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about. But let's get into this. Just a second chapter. This better slap. This better slap so unfathomably hard. I better scream. I better react how I reacted when freaking I read the words Nico and Bianca, bro. I better react how I reacted when Tyson told Percy he prayed for him. That's how I better react like that. Alright. The vice principal gets a missile launcher. Interesting. I didn't know what kind of monster Dr. Thorne was, but he was fast. Okay, I assumed it was a girl, but never mind. He was fast. Maybe I could defend myself if I could get my shield activated. All that it would take was a touch of my wristwatch. Yeah, why didn't you do that in the first place, bro? But defending the D'Angelo kids was another matter. I needed help, and there was only one way I could think of to get it. I closed my eyes. Oh, right, him and Grover still have the link. Bro had an MCU reaction seeing a comic book character in the movie for the first time. I really did. I really did. That is exactly how you react. when you're like, oh my god, that's the guy from the freaking thing I know. But him and Grover show the link. That's what he's doing with his eyes closed, I imagine. What are you doing, Jackson? What are you doing, Jackson? Dr. Thorne hissed. Keep moving. I opened my eyes and kept shuffling around. It's my shoulder. I lied. I tried to sound miserable, which wasn't hard. It burns. Bah. My poison causes pain. It will not kill you. Walk. Why would you tell me that? Now I'm gonna try to murder you a lot quicker now because I assumed the poison would kill me. Thorne heard us outside. I tried to concentrate. I pictured Grover's face. I focused on my feelings of fear and danger. Last summer, Grover had created an empathy link between us. He'd sent me visions in my dreams to let me know when he was in trouble. As far as I knew, we were still linked, but I never tried to contact Grover before. I didn't even know if it would work while Grover was awake. It will. Ooh, I quickly skimmed the second chapter. I don't know how I forgot about this. It's been a long time since I read this, I guess. Oh, but I wasn't close. This better be fire. This better go so unfathomably hard right now you don't understand. Hey, Grover, I thought. Thorne's kidnapping us. He's a poisonous spike throwing maniac. Help. Thorn marched into the woods. We took a snowy path dimly lit by old-fashioned lamplights. My shoulder ached. The wind blowing through my ripped clothes was so cold that I felt like a Percy sickle. There's a clearing ahead, Thorn said. We will summon your ride. What ride? Bianca demanded. Where are you taking us? Silence, you insufferable girl. Don't talk to my sister. Hold on, he has a French accent. Give me a second. Silence, you insufferable girl. I don't know how French people sound, but I'm assuming it's like that. Don't talk to my sister that way, Nico said. That's Nico's first line, I'm pretty sure. Don't talk to my sister that way. I'm sure that you guys think that defines his character, but I would if I would guess. It will blow your whole feet away. Don't overhype it. Don't overhype it now, because I'm expecting a lot. I'm expecting a lot. His voice quivered, but I was impressed that he had the guts to say anything at all. Yeah, same. Dr. Thorne made a growling sound that wasn't human. It made the hair stand up on the back of my neck. But I forced myself to keep walking and pretend I was a good little captive. Meanwhile, I protected my thoughts like crazy, aiming to get Grover's attention. Grover! Apples! Tin cans! You break up behind out here! Bring some heavily armed friends! Halt! Thorne said. The woods had opened up. We'd reached a cliff overlooking the sea. At least I sensed the sea was down there. I love how Percy can sense the ocean. That's so cool. Hundreds of feet below, I could hear the waves turning, and I could smell the cold, salty froth. But all I could see was the mist and darkness. Dr. Thorne pushed us toward the edge. I stumbled, and Bianca caught me. Thanks, I murmured. What is he? She whispered. How do we fight him? Dang. Apparently, you don't even know you're a half-blood, and you're already working on fighting. That's the Greek in you. That's the Greek in you. I'm working on it. I'm scared, Nico mumbled. He was fiddling with something. A little metal toy soldier of some kind. Stop talking, Dr. Thorne said. Face me. Come on. The British accent goes so hard. I didn't do a British accent. I did a French one. What? No, I can do a British accent. Well, that was the French. What are you talking about? A good little captive. Yeah, that's pretty kinky of Dr. Thorne. And this chapter is where Percy wakes from his coma. Nah, man, you're all good. you're all good. Don't worry about it. We're overhyping. I'm fully expecting this to be dope. I trust you guys. I trust you. I bet Battle of Labyrinth is the labyrinth of the asylum that he's in when he wakes up. Hold on. Shit. Okay. Where was I? Words. Find them. I'm scared, Nico mumbled. He was fiddling with something, a little metal toy soldier of some kind. Stop talking, Dr. Thorne said. Face me. We turned. Thorne's two-tone eyes glared hungrily. He pulled something from under his coat. At first, I thought it was a switchblade, but it was only a phone. He pressed the side and button and said, "The package. It is ready to deliver." There there was a garbled reply, and I realized Thorne was in walkie-talkie mode. It seemed way too modern and creepy. A monster using a mobile phone? I glanced behind me, wondering how far the drop was. Dr. Thorne laughed. By all means, son of Poseidon, jump. There's the sea. Save yourself. What did he call you? Bianca muttered. I'll explain later. Listen, I'm the main character, but we'll talk about that later. It's okay. You don't need to know right now. It's fine. You do have a plan, right? Grover, I thought desperately. Come to me! Maybe I could get both the D'Angelos to jump with me into the ocean. If we survive the fall, I could use the water to protect us. I've done things like this is true. Just tell them both to jump, and you can like catch them with the water and make it bubble, and they'll breathe, and they'll be fine. And the monster won't even be able to get to you, because if he tried, you just throw the whole ocean at him. I'd done things like that before, and my dad was in a good mood and listening. He might help, maybe. So wait, he can only use the ocean with Poseidon's permission? Is that what it is? Interesting. Interesting. Oh, I thought he just had half-blood powers. But maybe not. I would kill you before you ever reach the water, Dr. Thorne said, as if reading my thoughts. You do not realize who I am, do you? No, who are you? As long as there are no spoilers, we are cool. Yes, this is a spoiler-free zone. Spoilers get you banned. I mean, it won't, because I need the views. but spoilers will make me very sad. A flicker of movement behind him, a flicker of movement behind him, and another missile. Wait, hold on. Did I skip a freaking thing? Hold on. You do not realize who I am, do you? A flicker of movement behind him, and another missile whistled so close to me that it nicked my ear. Something had sprung up behind Dr. Thorne, like a catapult, more flexible, almost like a tail. Unfortunately, Thorne said, you are wanted alive, if possible. Otherwise, you would already be dead. Who wants us? Bianca demanded. Because if you think you'll get a ransom, you're wrong. We don't have any family. Nico and I... Her voice broke a little. You've got no one but each other. Oh, Dr. Thorne said, do not worry, little brats. You'll be meeting my employer soon enough. Then you'll have a brand new family. Luke, I said. You work for Luke. Oh, shit. Dr. Thorne's mouth twisted with distaste when I said the name of my old enemy, a former friend who tried to kill me several times. Nico and Bianca are just walking around like, what is this? We've just jumped into the middle of what is happening. Imagine if the book started from right here, from Nico's perspective. You'd be like, what the fuck is going on? Who the fuck is Luke? Apparently he's evil. Apparently they used to be friends. Apparently something or other. Like, you have no idea what is happening, Percy Jackson. I will let the general enlighten you. You are going to do him a great service tonight. He's looking for a ward. He's looking forward to meeting you. The general? Is that Luke? Is he the general now? The general asked, and I realized I said it with the French accent. The general? I asked. I mean, who's the general? Thorne looked down the horizon. Here we are, transportation. I turned and saw light in the distance, a searchlight over the sea. Then I heard the chopping of helicopter blades, getting louder and closer. Where are you taking us? Nico said. You should be honored, my boy. You have the opportunity to join a great army. Just like the silly game you play, with cards and dolls. They're not dolls, they're figurines. And you oh, Nico's just like me for real. They're not dolls, they're action figures. And you take your great army and now, Dr. Thorne warned, you will change your mind about joining us, my boy. If you do not, well, there are other uses for half-bloods. We have many monstrous mouths to feed. The Great Stirring is underway. The Great Stirring? Lore? World building? Events? Thing? What is happening? The Great what? I asked. Anything to keep him talking while I tried to figure out a plan. The stirring of monsters. Dr. Thorne smiled evilly. The worst of them, the most powerful, are now waking. Monsters that have not been seen in thousands of years. What? They will cause death and destruction, the likes of which mortals have never known. And soon we will have the most important monsters of all, and the one that shall bring about the downfall of Olympus. Okay, Bianca whispered to me. He's completely nuts. He's a lot more accurate than you'd like to believe. We have to jump off the cliff, I told her quietly, into the sea. Oh, super idea. You're completely nuts too. Now listen, trust, I'm the son of Poseidon, it'll be fine. I never got the chance to argue with her, because then an invisible force slammed into me. Let's go. Looking back on it, Annabeth's move was brilliant. Wearing her cap invisibility, she plowed into D'Angelo and she plowed into the D'Angelos in me, knocking us onto the ground. For a split second, Dr. Thorne was taken by surprise. So his first volley of missiles zipped harmlessly over our heads. This gave Thalia and Grover a chance to advance from behind. Thalia wielding her magic shield, Aegis. 1 second. I think Poseidon can give him extra power in times of need. Maybe not though. Give him extra power. Okay, so he can control the sea on his own. Poseidon can like make him like more powerful. Maybe that's one thing I always find interesting. Is in the other stories when gods have kids, they can just control their parents' power, if just a little. But Percy describes it as Poseidon helping him. Maybe that's just what he feels like. Maybe he just feels like Poseidon's helping him, versus like him just actually doing it. If that's how it is in Greek mythology, that's just probably how it is, right? Because this is just like Percy Jackson, literally just modern day Greek mythology, you know. So his first split second, Dr. Thorne was taken by surprise. So his first volley of missiles zipped harmlessly over our heads. This gave Thalia and Grover a chance to advance from behind. Thalia wielding her magic shield, Aegis, If you've never seen Thalia run into battle, you've never been truly frightened. She uses a huge spear that expands from this collapsible mace canister she carries in her pocket. Interesting. But that's not the scary part. Her shield is modeled after one her dad uses, also called Aegis, a gift from Athena. The shield has the head of a Gorgon, Medusa molded onto the bronze. And even though it won't turn you to stone, it's so horrible most people will panic and run at the sight of it. Even Dr. Thorne winced and growled when she saw it. Thalia moved in with her spear. For Zeus! I thought Dr. Thorne was a goner. Thalia jabbed at his head, but he snarled and swatted the spear aside. His hand charged into an orange paw with enormous claws that sparked against Thalia's shield as he slashed. If it hadn't been for Aegis, Thalia would have been sliced like a loaf of bread, as if it was managed to roll backwards and land on her feet. The sound of the helicopters was getting louder behind me, but I didn't dare look. Dr. Thorne launched another volley of missiles at Thalia. At this time, I thought I could see how he did it. He had a tail, a leathery scorpion-like tail that bristled with spikes at the tip. The missiles deflected off Aegis, but the force of their impact knocked Thalia down. Grover sprang forward. He put his reed pipes to his lips and began to play, a frantic jig that sounded like something pirates would dance to. Grass broke the snow. Within seconds, rope like weeds wrapping around Dr. Thorne's leg. What? Grover got grass powers now? Let's go. Satyr magic? Dr. Thorne roared and began to change. He grew larger until he was in his true form. His face was still human, but his body was a huge lion. His leathery spiky tail whipped around, deadly horns in all directions. A manticore! Annabeth said, now visible. Her magical New York Yankees cap had come off when she'd plowed into us. Who are you people? Bianca D'Angelo demanded. And what is that? A manticore, Nico gasped. He's got 3,000 attack power and plus five to saving throws. Oh, is he talking about mytho magic? He plays mytho magic. Is that what it is? I didn't know what he was talking about, but I didn't have any time to worry about that. The manticore clawed Grover's magic weeds to shreds, then turned toward us with a snarl. Get down! Annabeth pushed the D'Angelos flat into the snow. At the last second, I remembered my own shield. Bro, you gotta stop forgetting the shield, bro. This is gonna save your life, like Tyson said. I hit my wristwatch, and metal plating spiraled into a thick bronze shield. Not a moment too soon, the thorns impacted against it with such force they detected the metal. They dented the metal. That beautiful shield, a gift from my brother, was badly damaged. I wasn't sure it would even stop a second volley. No way you're gonna destroy Tyson's shield right now. No way. I heard a thwack and a yelp. Grover landed next to me with a thud. Yield! The monster roared. Never! Thalia yelled from across the field. She charged the monster, and for a second, I thought she would run him through. But then, there was a thunderous noise, and a blaze of light from behind us. The helicopter appeared out of the mist, and hovered just beyond the cliffs. It was a sleek, black, military-style gunship, with attachments on the side that looked like a laser-guided rockets. The helicopter had to be manned by mortals. But what was it doing here? How could mortals be working with monsters? The searchlights blinded Thalia. The manticore swatted her away with its tail. Her shield flew off. 1 second. Her shield flew off into the snow. Her spear flew in another direction. No! I ran out to help her. I parried away a spike just before it would have hit her chest. I raised my shield over, but I knew it wouldn't be enough. Dr. Thorne laughed. Now do you see how hopeless it is? Yield, little heroes. We were trapped between a monster and a fully armed helicopter. We had no chance. Then I heard a clear, piercing sound, the call of the hunting horn blowing in the woods. The manticore froze. For a moment, no one moved. There was only the swirl of snow and wind and chopping of the helicopter blades. No, Dr. Thorne said, it cannot be. His sentence was cut short when something shot past me like a streak of moonlight. A glowing silver arrow sprouted from Dr. Thorne's shoulder. He staggered backward, wailing in agony. Curse you, Thorne said. He unleashed his spikes, dozens of them at once, into the woods, where the arrow had come from, but just as fast, silvery arrows shot back in reply. Is it Apollo? It almost looked like the arrows had intercepted the thorns in midair and sliced them in two. Or Artemis? But my eyes must have been playing tricks on me. No one, not even Apollo's kids at camp, could shoot that much with that much accuracy. Maybe it is Apollo himself. Hold on. Which is also cool that Percy doesn't think he can do it himself. So rather than telling himself to try harder, he was trying to summon the strength of his father from himself. That is actually really cool. I really like that. If you're always trying to get stronger rather than just thinking he can do everything. But that shield shattered Beckendorf's sword. I guess that sword sucks, honestly. Or the Manticore is just mega strong. Like, I was shocked when the sword shattered, bro. Like, it shattered. You know how strong a shield gotta be to shatter it by just being there, dude? Like, alright. The Manticore pulled the arrow out of his shield with a howl of pain. His breathing was heavy. I tried to swipe at him with my sword, but he wasn't as injured as he looked. He dodged my attack and slammed into his tail, but he tapped his tail into my shield, knocking me aside. The actors came from the woods. They were girls. About a dozen of them. The youngest was maybe 10. The oldest was about 14, like me. When the fuck did you turn 14, Perce? When is your birthday? When is your birthday? Is it in... I guess in the latter half of the year, because it's the same year as... Sea of Monsters. They wore silvery ski parks and jeans. And they were all armed with bows. They advanced on the Manticore with determined expressions. The hunters, Annabeth cried. Next to me, Thaima would, oh, wonderful. I didn't have a chance to ask what she meant. One of the older archers stepped forward with her bow drawn. She was tall and graceful, with coppery-colored skin. Unlike the other girls, she had a silver circlet braided into the top of her long dark hair, so she looked like some kind of Persian princess. Permission to kill, milady. I couldn't tell who she was talking to, because she kept her eyes on the Manticore. The monster wailed, "This is not fair! Direct interference! It is against the ancient laws!" What? What the fuck could you possibly be talking about? Not so, another girl said. This one was a little younger than me, maybe 12 or 13. She had auburn hair gathered back in a ponytail and strange eyes, silver yellow like the moon. Her face was so beautiful it made me catch my breath. But her expression was stern and dangerous. The hunting of all wild beasts is within my sphere, and you foul creature are a wild beast. She looked at the older girl with the circlet. Zoe, permission granted. Who is this person? Who are you? Who are you? The Manticore growled, if I cannot have these alive, I shall have them dead. He lunged at Thalia and me, knowing we were weak and dazed. No, Annabeth yelled, and she charged at the monster. Get back, Half-Blood, the girl with the circlet said. Get out of my line of fire. Okay, so she's not a Half-Blood. But Annabeth, is she a god? Is this Artemis? Goddess of the hunt? Like... But Annabeth leaped into the monster's back and drove her knife into his mane. The Manticore howled, turning into circles with his tail flailing as Annabeth hung on her for dear life. Fire! Zoe ordered. No! I screamed. Okay, one of them was named Zoe. Or Zoe? I don't know how those accents are pronounced, but I'm just gonna say Zoe for fun's sakes. But the hunters let their arrows fly. The first caught the Manticore in the neck. Another hit its chest. The Manticore staggered backwards, wailing, "This is not the end, Huntress. You shall pay." And before anyone could react, the monster with Annabeth still on his back, leaped over the cliff and tumbled into the darkness. Annabeth! Annabeth is dying? What? I started to run after her. And maybe she's not dying. She's falling off the cliff. She's not gonna die. But our enemies weren't done with us. It was a snap from the helicopter. The sound of gunfire. Most of the hunters scattered as tiny holes appeared at the snow of their feet. But the girls with auburn hair just looked up calmly at the helicopters. His birthday is August 18th. Okay, good to know. Good to know. Mortals, she announced, are not allowed to witness my hunt. She thrust out her hand, and the helicopter exploded into dust. No, not dust. The black metal dissolved into a flock of birds, ravens which scattered into the night. Hunters advance on us. The one called Zoe stopped short when she saw Thalia. You, she said with distaste. Zoe Nightshade. Thalia's voice trembled with anger. Perfect timing as usual. Nightshade? Zoe scanned the rest of us. 4 half-bloods and a satyr, milady. Yes, the younger girl said. Some of Chiron's campers, I see. Annabeth, I yelled. You have to let us save her. The auburn-haired girl turned toward me. I'm sorry, Percy Jackson, but your friend is beyond help. I tried to struggle to my feet, but a couple of the girls held me down. You are in no condition to be hurling yourself off the cliff. I mean, I think he's in perfect condition to hurl himself off the cliff, seeing as the second he hurls himself off the cliff, he'll be healed to perfect condition. So, I don't know what you're talking about. Let me go, I demanded. Who do you think you are? Zoe stepped forward as if to smack me. No, the other girl ordered. I sense no disrespect. Zoe is simply distraught. He does not understand. The young girl looked at me, her eyes colder and brighter than the winter moon. I am Artemis, she said, goddess of the hunt. I freaking called it. Freaking called it. Is Artemis. The fact that... Okay. The fact that I'm impressed Thalia reacted like that to seeing a goddess in her presence. Like, Percy, every time he sees it, like, oh, shit, there you are. But Thalia was like, oh. Thalia was just like, oh, okay, you're here, I guess. I guess, is Zoe one of her, like, homies? Like, one of her, like how Poseidon has the Neads, the Nereids, or however you pronounce that. She has the whatever. That's right, Rescue Mission 2, Electric Boogaloo. Wait, what? What? This is a second rescue arc? What? I am now excited. I am now excited. We've got to rescue Annabeth this time? Is that what this is? Is that what you're telling me? Is that about to happen right now? I thought we were just going to get her in, like, next chapter or some shit. Listen. Listen, Dash Point. Listen, okay. The amount that I love character rescue arcs, okay? Bro, Percy can't keep his... Dude! Nah. Titan's Curse. I was hyped about Sea of Monsters because I didn't think we'd get another rescue arc. But a rescue arc, back-to-back rescue arcs? Nah, this is... Like, I was, like, mildly hyped when Artemis showed up, because you guys are like, oh, this is gonna be good. You guys are gonna love this. I was like, okay. And Artemis showed up, I was like, okay, I guess that's what they meant. And Artemis is cool, especially because I called it. I was like, okay, especially because you haven't met her before. I was like, wait, first of all, is Artemis the one that swore that she would never have any kids? Is that who that is? I'm pretty sure that's because she can't have any half-blood children. I was like, all right, that's cool. I was like, but it's not more hype than meeting the other god. It's not more hype than seeing Poseidon again. You know what I mean? Or Zeus. But the second you told me we were having another rescue arc, the second you told me we have to save Annabeth this time. If you think about it, this whole series is a rescue arc for the Olympians. Yes, that is true. But a rescue arc is more like a true to form rescue arc is like they're captured. They're not safe somewhere. They're off somewhere that I am not, and I have to get to that place. Okay, yes, that's her. Okay, good to know. But I have to get to that place to save you. That's what this is. So, I'm freaking hyped. Titan's Curse. If this is a rescue arc, and you guys are saying Titan's Curse is better than Sea of Monsters, and I already like Sea of Monsters because it was a rescue arc, and the shit with Poseidon. But we're getting it again. But a reverse this time. It's not going to be Annabeth trying to rescue. I'm assuming Grover's going to be with us this whole time. Because he wouldn't just leave to go fuck off search for Pan. Well, yeah, but she's one of the 12. Like, she's the only one that has, like, one of the houses that can't halfway, you know what I mean? But yeah, if you're saying I might like Titan's Curse more than, the Sea of Monsters. Ooh, this is, oh no, I'm so hyped. Rescue arc again? Yeah, this is gonna be fire. I'm hyped. Glad you're at the second chapter. We will see you tomorrow since you won't be able to put the book down. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I will be back. If I like, if I leave off on a cliffhanger, that is like, I probably want to read this on stream, I'll do it. But if I don't see anything too super special on stream, good luck with my vocal cords. Yeah, my vocal cords are tired right now. I don't see anything too super special. I'll be back probably for chapter 10. I'll be back like for chapter 10, 11, and 12. Read the middle of the book. And then I'll go off, and then I'll come back for the end. That's probably what I'm gonna do. I don't know when I'm gonna be back. I wouldn't expect tomorrow, but I honestly wouldn't be surprised if this book is a banger. But we'll see. But we'll see. Thanks for sticking through one more chapter. Of course, man. It's always nice to read with you guys. But I just hit the 3-hour mark for streaming. I have been streaming for as long as Avengers Endgame is a movie. I'll be back whenever your next stream. Yeah, thank you guys. I appreciate you guys freaking joining. All you guys here made it a lot more fun reading this book, especially Titan's Curse. Me and not going into it. A lot of fun. So I appreciate you guys being here. But yeah, I'm going to end the stream today. Look out for my next one. Obviously, I don't know when that's going to be, but whenever I get to chapter 10, that'll definitely be when it is at the very least. Unless something hype happens where I'm like, I need to react to this on stream. I got to call the people. Then it'll be then. But yeah. So until next time, end the stream. See you guys later.